And once again, a huge thank you to all of our financial supporters, our 87.8 survivors. All of your names are there on the screen. We cannot thank you all enough. Each of you are legends. Just thank you so, so much. But a big shout out in particular to our 2 podcast bosses, Kenny Baker, 23 months now, mate. Just don't know what we're doing right, but you keep coming back. And Cinnamon, 16 months. You're an absolute legend, mate. In fact, all of you are legends who help the shows go on each and every week. Thank you all for your support, even just by watching or listening. And we hope you enjoy this week's show. And welcome to episode 150 of the DayZ Podcast, folks. I'm your host, Boydie. Late as usual, but I do think I've got a reasonable excuse today. I'm not really feeling that well. So you have to put up with a bit of a croaky voice, a few coughs here and there. But hey, yeah. I turned 50. So I'm well into my menopausal cycles now. So yeah, I'm going to be even more erratic than I normally am. So watch out, everyone on Twitter. But yep, we're joined as always by our 2 co-hosts. Archie, how you doing, bud? What? 150?
He put me at the beginning. Hang on, ready? Oh my days.
That's funny. That's funny. What about now, guys? Can you hear everyone?
Mic check 1 2 7 8. DJs can't count past 3.
Testicles.
No, that's testing. 1 2 3 testicles.
Discord is not getting recorded. No sound.
Make sure you're in OBS or slobs that you have your desktop audio turned all the way up.
It's back. Now I hear it. Okay, so what we were saying before, folks, we are joined by Archie. And
it's not a fucking Boydie's not hosting unless there's technical.
Yeah, this is literally the
I'm in a field. I'm in a field with a laptop and a car battery and a freaking inverter, and I still don't.
And you can do tech better than a guy sitting in his fucking house. I know.
You have to leave that in.
Yes, we leave almost everything in. Very, very little ever gets taken out of our shows, regardless of fucking how stupid I am. But yeah, Archie, how you doing, buddy? You said you were a bit hungover last week.
Yeah, I was a little hungover last week, so I was a little down and out. I hope that didn't affect the podcast too much. I did listen back in it, but it is episode 150, so halfway to 200.
I know.
For the sake of redundancy, I won't say the whole spill again. You guys didn't miss nothing.
And a little bit there.
Dave, you said you're on holidays, mate.
I am indeed. I am on holiday this weekend. We've gone on a cycling holiday. We are a cycling holiday.
That's not a fucking holiday. That's exercise.
Well, it's exercise with fun.
So they bike 12 miles, dude.
Yeah, we did 12 miles today.
Archie, he drinks White Lightning. Of course, he's gonna have a fucked up sense of what fun is.
He said before the stream started. He said, "Well, my wife, she didn't bike the whole thing. She took a train for 4." I was like, "That's still 8 miles. I couldn't bike 8 miles downhill, bro."
Oh God! But we are joined this week by the one, the only Tommy YouTube. Tommy, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing absolutely grand. How about yourself?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. We had a bit of a chat before the show started, obviously. But tell us a bit about yourself for those in chat who don't know you. You know where you're from and all the rest of it. What you do?
100%. I basically just played it. Well, I got addicted to DayZ in lockdown, and then one of my birthdays, I thought, you know what, Mummy and Daddy's money, I'm going to buy myself a PC. Bought myself a very bad PC. Played. Fell into a group of friends I was very lucky to fall into, who you will all definitely know. And then, slowly started making content.
Well, for those who don't know, who is that group of friends?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I probably should have said that. Don't know why I glossed over. Well, I felt I first of all met JLK and Exclusion on a gun running video they were doing. They asked for friends and they asked for people to help them, and I met them through that. And then JLK released his server, which was Final Hour, if any of you remember that one. We sort of took that one away now. We don't talk about it. I met them on that. I did a bit of moderating for JLK, ran into him in the server, invited me to his private call. We got on, and now I'd say we're pretty good mates. Me, Exclusion, Zodek, if you know Zodek, very good friends of Zodek. and a few others. Yeah, so they pushed me to make content. I made a bit of content. Got a very long way to go. I'm very blunt and honest with myself. My content is shit at the moment.
There are not many people when they first start off who don't have a background in this sort of stuff that don't. I look back at even the first episodes of the podcast, mate, and they're fucking terrible. Some people might argue they're not much better now, with technical issues like this morning. But there are aspects
now.
Yeah, it is. It's a meme, but that's one of the beautiful things of it, mate. You're going to learn, you're going to get advice, and all the rest of it. And yeah, I always tell people don't unlist your very old stuff because it's nice for people to go back and especially be able to see how you've developed as a creator. You look at all the big guys who've left a lot of their stuff up and their early stuff. Most of them, to a T, will say I was fucking shit, but I got better. So, nah, man, that's fucking awesome.
One of the best things you can do is actually say that, I think my original stuff wasn't that good. And to leave it there, not just as a learning curve for yourself, but as a learning curve for other people who are not trying to do the same thing, but trying to get into the same platform that you're in. And that's what I did when I first started. I looked at a lot of what people considered as not great, and I tried to do better, and it was crap.
Dude, I've been doing it since 2016, and I'll look at the video I put out 2 months ago and go, "Oh my god, I've improved so much since then." You know what I mean? You just gotta keep snowballing. I watched your videos, Tommy, and they're not bad, bro. I see what yeah. I mean, you're doing everything right. You're introducing the video with a voiceover. You're telling the story. You're giving the synopsis beforehand, so you pull people in. You've got a couple of the greatest. I'm a huge Josh fan, dude. JOK. I've been a fanboy of his for a long time. I got in a lot of trouble for saying he was better than Frankie on PC. People hated that, but he is.
I don't like scripted content personally, so
yeah, me neither, bro. But Boyd, he does. So don't get him started. But anyway, yeah, and Exclusion was on a couple months ago, and
that's what actually made me come on. I didn't even know he was on the podcast. For some reason, he kept it quiet, and then it came up on my YouTube recommendation. I thought, oh, that's quite fun. And then I asked him about it. I was texting him about it, and we had a chat. But no, I've got a long way to go. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for Josh, especially Josh, and especially Zodek. Zodek, the most. He is one of the most, from what he's done in 4 months. I don't know if you lads are familiar with him. From what he's done in 4 months I don't think I've seen any other DayZ content creator done it. He's got 10,000 subscribers in 4 months. He's got over 400,000 views in 4 months, and his work ethic is just literally today. It's been sunny in England, and I literally just texted him about 15 minutes ago and said I'm having a beer in the garden. He put, I've been sat in my gaming room all day editing. It's the difference between me and him, and I think there is that level that I am still trying to find where how much I want to do this, and but there's a lot of grind that goes into it.
Yeah, you have to find that balance. You have to find that balance perfectly. Yep. If you don't find that balance perfectly, you will overrun or burn yourself out very quickly. It's one of the reasons that I'm on holiday right now. I'm on holiday right now because me and the wife need a break. We need to step away from what we're doing because we're not producing the content level that we would expect to produce, and we're trying too hard almost.
I do 2 hours a day, man. I think because 2 hours a day, 5 days a week is 10 hours. And that's a lot of time to get a lot of stuff done. If I put out one short a day, I'll get my sub goal. And if I put out a video a week,
I've been with what you guys are talking about, I've been watching the stuff with iDubbbz at the moment. And how he's come out and said he doesn't like his old content, and he's worried about changing it up and all the rest of it. But regardless of what you think about iDubbbz and his change and all the rest of it, it's fascinating just from that content creator perspective that it's a demanding industry. It's basically you're a self-employed person, and to make it as a self-employed person, you've got to have something special about you. Because it's a lot of fucking work. And if you want to become a full-time streamer earning enough money, you've got to be on top of your game. Some people get lucky, but people look at Mr. Beast and they go, fucking, oh, geez, he's got it easy in that. No, that guy doesn't have it easy. That guy worked his fucking ass off. And the attitude he went with was, I will play the algorithm. I will learn how to make YouTube work for me, and that's the secret to his success. Relatively entertaining content, but the guy knows how to play the algorithm. And you've got to learn that stuff. If you're just turning up there, you can be making the best fucking content, but if it's not, you know, the blessing you've got, Tommy, is you're surrounded by some fucking amazing creators, mate. Who, Josh is a great example of someone who knows how to work the algorithm. He's usually ahead of the curve when it comes to thumbnail titles, isn't he, Archie? Everyone pretty much copies what he does.
Well, that's the thing. When you see what works, a lot of people. So, like with me, I do troll content and trap bases. There was no like audience for that on DayZ. That was a Rust thing, right? So when I came along, I was trying to create. This is before Fresh Bonds, right? I was trying to create an audience for DayZ trap bases and troll content, but the algorithm wasn't there for it. So it didn't matter how good my search tags were, unless it popped up and somebody saw the thumbnail, they wouldn't click the video. But somebody like JLK, like Josh, he came in and started this, massive bases and massive base raids and how we started this industry on this server. And it's interesting, So, and then again, thumbnails are 99% of it, in my opinion. And his shit, but he's paying like $50, $75 per thumbnail in some cases.
Look, he could probably afford to, with the revenue he makes from his videos. And one of the things I like about his style, Tommy, is his quality over quantity. He's not just uploading non-stop incessantly. He aims just for more. I'm going to do something. And you seem to be quite similar, mate. You're not just spam uploading videos. Like I'm looking at your channel now, and 4 weeks ago, and 2 weeks, and
I go try and do a video a week. But as I've said a few times, I'm still under the age of 20. I've got a life. I live my life, and I probably should. Man. I probably should be a bit loading, but I find that, the big thing for me is I was lucky. I got a big break. I had one video blow up 80,000 views. I'm not really proud of that video, and I'll openly admit that it's a base location video. It took me forward 3 days to film, but I think I have used it to be positive. This last video uploaded was my longest and probably my best video. It's 20 minutes, got about 5,000 views as of right now. And that took me about a week and a half to edit. But then again, that was from the pure guidance from months and months of, different YouTubers that have pushed me along the way. And like I said, I'm a long way to go, but this recent video I do think reflects a little bit of where I'm hopefully going to end up.
Are you doing AI thumbnails, or are you paying someone?
I had a bit of a problem with a thumbnail artist. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to get into it. And I was using a thumbnail artist for a while, and basically it's not really. It was something I did. I sent someone a bit too much money. That's about it. I'll go into it. Yeah, so I then had to start making my own thumbnails, and which I did do. I did fine, and then realised that actually no, these are shite. I need to get onto AI thumbnails. And let me tell you right now, AI thumbnails are not very good. It takes me hours because I'll sometimes, put a request in, and then 50 minutes later I'll get, I'll get what I'm looking for. But then I do take the AI thumbnails, and then I go into Photoshop and edit it myself. So I had the DayZ logo. I had a bit.
These last two in particular, they're really eye catching.
Yeah,
and I think that shows in the amount of views, like how I built an ocean stronghold. Yeah, you can't build a base like that in DayZ, but fuck me, that's an eye-catching thumbnail right there, Archie.
That's another thing. I think people like this whole. There's a bit of debate on Twitter at the moment about you can't clickbait thumbnails on DayZ. Personally, I don't know if you guys will agree. If you don't, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's a business. If you're in a shop and someone's selling their cake, if their cake isn't the best cake in the land, they're not going to call it a pretty mid-tier cake. They're going to say, I'm selling the best cake in the town. It might be shit, but they're going to say that because it's going to get them the views.
You're going to go to the store with the best signage and advertisement. Yeah. Literally, the whole thing about people who say, "Oh, these fucking clickbait titles," well, you clicked it, didn't you?
Yeah,
100%. I'm not in a single one of them. Am I clickbaiting? I'm not. We did build an ocean stronghold. If you just go to the end of the video, you will see the base we built.
That was a good video. I watched it.
If you not this one here, then the one before it, but we did build in the ocean. we built in the ocean and we did build a stronghold. No, we didn't build an ocean stronghold that looked like the thumbnail. But then, I'm not being funny, does Mr. Beast cure that particular kid of blindness in his thumbnail? No, he doesn't.
I mean, that's
that
the
kid
thing.
doesn't appear in the whole video.
The whole
So
thing is clickbait. It's advertising, and that's everyone's doing it, bro. They're clickbaiting titles, they're
100%.
clickbaiting thumbnails, and it's competitive. It's extremely competitive. I've never seen DayZ as saturated as it is right now with new content creators, and everyone's doing the exact same thing, right? So when you come out with a different kind of thumbnail and a different kind of title, where you actually put some thought into it, even if it is mildly clickbait, that's what you want to do. You're exactly right. I
100%.
agree.
I like what Ray said in chat there. I always go to the store that says coldest beer in town because they might actually.
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
You're not gonna go to the store that says, you know, our beer is good, but it ain't the best. Like, I'm not being funny. I'm not sat there telling people I've built a floating base that has automatic turrets in DayZ, because I didn't, and you can't do that in DayZ. But I'm also not gonna put me and JLK built a pretty big and also ran the server in DayZ, because that's ludicrous.
Oh God, Michael. So I guess a hooker who wears makeup and uses a push-up bra would be clickbait. Pretty much, yeah. She's
like so every woman anyway. But yeah, that's the same reason clowns paint their faces so people like them. But
exactly.
No, when I look at your thumbnails, that especially those first three, that says to me the first thing I see when I see that is high production quality, and then I click your video and there's high production quality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
The mic is good, the panoramics are good, the shots are good, the story is there, you're doing the intro. That's the biggest thing people gloss over. I know we talk everybody makes fun of us and says this isn't a DayZ podcast, this is a DayZ content creator podcast. Chill the fuck out. The biggest thing people gloss over when they're making videos is they don't invite people into the video. So when you start the video and you start right away with that voiceover explaining it, that was perfect. That was music to my ears, dude.
Well, the big thing about, you know, videos and like the content in the world now, and like, not to go too deep into it, since TikTok was released and since COVID was a big player in it, is the ideology that, you know, people need that quick form of content. It's why TikTok's massive, it's why YouTube Shorts have become massive. So you need to be able to hook somebody. So when they would watch that 1 minute TikTok and think, oh, I enjoyed that, you know, scroll on. You need to, in that 1 minute of when they'd watch that TikTok, make them overly want to watch the rest of your video, because you've hooked their attention so much more than a TikTok will ever do. So as soon as you get them in that video, you've got to go with the cinematics to show them what the video's about. But then also you don't want to oversaturate it, because if you give someone too much information, they're going to sit there and go, the hell is going on?
I'll come back to this. I'm too relaxed right now.
I think sorry, to wade in, I think we use the term clickbait slightly too much.
Oh yeah, it's definitely overused.
Clickbait is essentially a term that is supposed to be something that you click thinking you're going to get something, and you get something completely different. This isn't clickbait. This is an invitation.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dave.
This is just really nice wrapping paper.
And you get exactly what you saw. That's an invitational. That's not clickbait at all. Clickbait is, you know.
Look, in today's day and age, mate, any word can be changed.
And they run around for an hour and do nothing.
Well, no, to his point earlier, though, like YouTube used to tell you have to hook people in the first 30 seconds. Now they literally say it's the first 7, because of what he's talking about with the, you know, the dopamine hit and the serotonin hit with the short form content. So that's how much more difficult it is now, because people are thumbing through on their phone and it's playing the first, you know, 5 to 10 seconds of the video. And if it looks interesting right away, they're going to watch it. But anyway, I'll be here.
So that's what I've been doing wrong with the podcast. The first fucking 2 minutes.
You're supposed to go in and go, hi, I'm Boyder. I've messed up all of the technology. Everything is broken. Welcome to 7.8. That's what you should.
We just need a woman with her tits pushed together and the webcam aimed straight down.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm definitely. There's a lot to go with the YouTube journey, but I think, like I said, I'm in the perfect place for it. And even there, Erno's helped me a lot as well in the past. I don't speak to him as much as I used to, but Erno's also helped me a lot. He's a good lad. I've had a lot of YouTubers that have helped me, but there is also another side to the content creators we will get into later, I'm sure, at the moment. But like I was saying about the AI thumbnails, sorry, just not to sidetrack there. If you look at how I stole a helicopter. I can't remember the title. How I stole. If you look at that thumbnail, if you unhover over it, look how janky them wheels are. That's the pros and cons of AI thumbnails, because you will get something that's a bit like, what the, what is that? And in that one, it's the wheels. There's 19 wheels on a helicopter. Like, what's going on? No one has that many wheels. And in the next one, the guy's holding some form of a lightsaber. Is it? I don't know. But there's pros and cons to both. Yeah.
But even
I looked at that and I thought it was a chem light or something on him. But yeah.
Well, that's what AI does. AI, tricks your brain into thinking it's something. Like in that top right one, he's meant to be holding a gun in the underground factory base. He's meant to be holding a gun. He's not holding a gun. He's holding some black splodge. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But that's what AI thumbnail does. But right now, it's a free way of doing thumbnails for me, which I'm enjoying. Obviously, I pay for the Photoshop. I paid for the subscription to use AI thumbnails, but it's a lot cheaper than what all my friends are paying, to say the least.
Yeah, dude. And to be honest, these thumbnail artists have always been scalping people on their prices, and they're gonna have to come down with this AI thumbnail generator, because everyone is going to AI, and it's just gonna get better, dude. So
I do totally enjoy a drawn thumbnail. I'll open them. I enjoy a drawn thumbnail a lot more than an AI thumbnail. There's a lot more character in it. Like if you look at JLK thumbnails, and I also love. I keep bringing his name up, but Zodek's thumbnails. He's got a personal thumbnail artist. He hunted for months to find him. He won't give it out, which is very understandable. But his thumbnails are incredible because they're so unique.
Yeah, I wish Kobe was here, man. This is his purview. He loves thumbnails, bro. But yeah, that for sure. I mean, a closely guarded secret when you find your thumbnail plug. You know what I mean? I get it for sure. But $100 is too much for a goddamn drawn thumbnail that I can do in 25 minutes and then color.
Yeah, I think it's a business expense. At the moment, I am earning money from YouTube. Is it anything that I could live on? 100% not. I've earned about £100 in the first 2 weeks of being monetized. I got monetized about 2 weeks ago, and a lot of it has come from. I can't remember exactly how much it is. I get a lot from the base building video, because that still gets about 2,000 views every day. Top 5 base locations, and I got it from the recent video. Top 5 base locations.
That's the number one keyword right now. It seems like always, if you want to grow a channel, make shorts about base building and a video about base building.
It has to be done right now. The analytics have moved from just everybody being able to do it.
You speak to a lot of people, and bases are ruining the game. But yeah, it's.
Well, I won't even get into that. Oh, we can get into that, but I think that's the most ludicrous key point anyone's ever made.
I love Tommy, dude. I love him. I love this guy.
This is why we get people on as guests, because we all have our opinions on it, but we like to hear from our guests' opinions on it. What do you think about the base side of things?
The argument. So my big argument is, don't be stupid if you're talking about base building, which is a bit nasty in a sense. But let me ask you this question, right? Let's say you've been in the military, correct, Boydie?
Yes.
Say tomorrow there's a zombie apocalypse. It's you, wherever you live with your missus, kids, I don't know, right? Are you leaving your house and going, you know what? Nah, never coming back here. I'm gonna just live on the road. I'm not gonna have anywhere. Are you gonna just stay in your house, protect yourself, hoard food into one location, or are you gonna go? We're gonna lock the door behind me.
We've got a bug out location that we're going to go to lock down and fortify, because I'm a little bit of a prepper. We've thought about this, and where we are would not be a good place to be, but we know somewhere that we would like to be.
There is a place, correct?
Yep. We will go to set up and work from.
100%. It's like people that say that, but like there's the certain servers. I've been playing a server at the moment called Day One, and I'll name drop. Great server, had a lot of fun, but you know what would make it great? A base building.
Because I'll tell you what, the problem is everybody bandwagons with whatever the fuck their favorite streamer says. If you've ever been an admin in a server and you've ever watched CF Tools or whatever, which tells you where everyone is, the whole argument that, I can't find anybody because they're all hiding in their bases is horseshit. Yeah. Anytime I've ever been an admin on a server and I've been watching, most people, as in 75% at least, we'll say 70, are on the coast.
The one thing that is legit is safe zones. When you have a safe zone trader, that's where people that fucks over a server.
Well, that's built to that whole aspect of DayZ though, the safe zones and the traders is built for people to have a communal space, right? So people are supposed to loiter there. I agree, but like this whole argument that people are just hiding in their bases, and people get so mad at me when I say this, and I know I'm right because I've admin servers, and I know Dave has too and still does.
Yeah. So on this note, actually, of you playing a server that has people on it and never seen somebody. I recently did some shoutcasting and some admin work for an event, and I observed 8 people around Bonstall Military in Ethica. At one point, 4 of them were less than 30 meters away
and they
from
have
me,
no idea.
and they had no idea they were ever there,
Yep,
and they walked right past each other.
You learn so much watching people on CF Tools, how they play, and the fact that the sounds only work so far, especially if someone's indoors. And
they thought they saw no one, but really they were surrounded.
Especially with the gas grenades now.
One move.
Yeah, it's not so easy to just sit inside your base.
Even if they are
troll
camping,
someone,
exactly.
you fucking lob a few fucking gas grenades in their base. If they don't have a full NPC suit, they're in for a terrible fucking time.
Well, the other thing is this, right? I'll have an analogy, much like his analogy about, what are you going to do in an apocalypse? If I'm fishing, right? If I'm looking for players, I'm fishing. Now, if I'm fishing in a lake, am I going to cast my fucking lure and then walk around the lake over and over and over with just keep casting? Or am I going to sit in one spot and more fish are going to come that way? Or say, I'm going to throw my net out and just wait, right? So if you sit in one spot, one high traffic area, you're going to see somebody in 5 or 10 minutes. If you just run around constantly, you're going to run right past 20 people and never see them. That's my whole point. That's why people think that I, use some kind of ESP and shit. Well, how do you always find people? How are you always running into people on stream? I sit in one spot, I occupy chat, and then somebody runs by and bam, we got it.
What Michael said in chat is the most important part of it. It's called respecting each other's opinion. There's people that can't stand base building and people that like it. They're both right, and that's correct. The issue I have is
disrespected anyone's opinion.
You don't ever hear people who like base building going non-base building servers are shit, because we understand why people like to play it. It's generally it seems to be only a one-way criticism that the people who don't like the bases are very vocal about how base building is the worst thing that ever came into DayZ. You don't see people saying, servers without base building are the worst thing. Yeah, there may be someone who said that, but I actually enjoy playing servers with no bases on it from time to time. They are fun because there is going to be an increased chance, but it's also a big base becomes an organic hotspot on the map. That if they're the big base with a big clan, if you just want to be get some PvP and fuck some people up. Yeah, let's go head around that big base over there on top of that apartment, and we'll troll them for a while. We'll mess with them. They add organic places of interest. Yeah,
for sure.
It doesn't make sense to me because, like, I'm going to be quite straight here. The people that the only servers that have no base building are unmodded servers, like not unmodded, but the more vanilla, day 1, 0, servers like that, right? The only time an excuse can be used where people will sit in their bases when there is stuff to do in a base, unless I'm wrong, and people like to sit in a base and look at the walls because you can't do it. Exactly. So why are they going to sit in the base? But on Aftermath, there is a problem. Aftermath, there is a problem with people sat in the base because of the drug you can grow in there, because there's other activities you can do in Aftermath where you sat in your base. But on a day 1 server, if they had a vanilla base building, what are you going to be doing sitting in your base, organizing your loot? All right, you've organized it once. What are you going to do? Reorganize it again?
Literally
Makes
nothing.
No sense.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the other thing is this: people bitch about base building. They're too easy to raid. You just don't know how to fucking build them, bro. Build a base with 6 gates on it with 4 dials. No one is going to get a return on investment with the amount of explosive it
100%.
takes to blow up. If I got to waste 12 fucking plastic explosives, it took me 4 days to farm, and that's somebody with 8,000 hours that knows where to look. I'm never going to get a return on investment for wasting 12 plastic explosives. What am I going to get? Your 2 M4s?
There's a flip side to this as well. I actually have a short on one of this where I went on to one of these servers that is quite open for base building and whatnot. And I ran up as a freshie and I figured a way to run across a little balcony and empty one of their gun racks.
Exactly.
Drop it all to the ground. Take
and
the
it's
gun
fun
rack
as hell, man.
That
was such a great point.
First day on the server, I've been on for 20 minutes. I've got a grenade launcher, a big massive machine gun.
The one thing is, it is very difficult to be a streamer and do bases because I totally get that. I've done it myself. People will watch you and they will learn all the ins and outs. They'll work out the easiest way to raid your base because you're showing the inside of your base. So that is where I think a lot of the criticism comes from creators, Tommy, because it is hard. When you're just doing YouTube content, it's easy because
isn't that an opinion then for stream sniping? Not to cut you off there, isn't that an opinion on stream sniping and not the actual base building?
But for them, they want to create content, and it's very hard. There's nothing more frustrating. DayZ's a hard enough game to make entertaining content for, especially as a streamer. YouTube, it's still hard for YouTubers, but you can edit something that wasn't so great. You could technically edit it to make it look better than it really was. But when you're streaming for 8 hours and you log back in the next day, you've just built this big base and it's been completely wiped out. And it was in a good location. You built it, and you look at. I've done it myself. I've seen people raid a base I had. And the exact path they took was the easiest way to get to what I call my vault. And it was like, the chances of them going exactly through that route is so infinitesimal. I had that many walls up, but they went exactly along that route and got to my vault. And it was like, okay. Someone was watching.
Josh doesn't stream anymore.
As well, from a streamer's point of view as well, you have another point there. It's not entertaining for someone to come and sit and spend 8 hours watching you build a base. It's not
if you're not entertaining, it's not entertaining. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, even as the most entertaining person in the world, spending 8 hours just putting up walls.
But it is entertaining watching somebody raid a motherfucking base.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't mind, there being no base building servers. I think it's a bit weird, but I don't mind. But then don't try and say it's a bad feature because
that's my point too.
Not a bad feature in any way, shape, or form. I came from console. I've only had a PC literally. I got a PC in 2021. I got my PC. I played console for nearly 4 years since 2018. Before that, so I'm a big console lover, and I still do love consoles. Actually, on it yesterday. Don't really like to admit that, but but I that was the DayZ I knew, base building. There's no base building servers on console. There's no I can't get my head around it why people would say it needs to be removed. It ruins DayZ, because that is the most ludicrous statement I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Ruins DayZ. If you removed Rearmed, Aftermath, Perception, Cryptic, Armex, other servers like that, so the DayZ playing count would go down so tremendously. It'd fall off Steam's, top recommended games. There'd be nothing recommended anymore. The big thing about DayZ is and not to, I sound like I'm going on here, but I am a bit
that's what we do here, bro.
Some of my favorite videos of all times is JLK. There's 2 videos he made called War and Retribution. They were both filmed on a server called Core, DayZ Core. It was a Livonia server.
Yes.
Base building interaction, right? Some of the most greatest content ever filmed on there. That had base building. If Josh had gone and met the people he met in that server and then died 20 minutes later and never met them again, there'd be no video there. The bases, because he died, went back to their base and spoke to them. He had his own base where they came and they did meetings at the base. Wait, how are you meant to do that on a server where it's one life? It's silly.
Exactly.
It's so silly. And at the end of the day, people can say, "Oh, well, DayZ's realistic." You're playing a zombie game, mate. I'm sorry to break it to you. You're playing a zombie game. It's quite a realistic game, sure, but we're gaming.
I literally completely agree with you. I kind of sympathise with some of the servers that choose to have no base building. I myself, I don't run it now. I've transferred it over to America with the Bare Necessities guys, but they run a quite a small server. And when I say small server, I mean a small map as well. So there's the opportunity to respawn in and run back to somewhere within 10-15 minutes. And in that kind of meta, it kind of breaks the base building because they can respawn and come back so fast that it will eventually just break it. And I can understand why they would want no base building. But to say that base building is a problem in DayZ is a completely different meta. No, it's not. No, it's not at all.
They literally will say it ruins the game. Like streamers with a huge influence will say it ruins the game, and that's what it all. That's honest to God. The first time I ever heard it was Smoke. Smoke was saying he hated bases. They ruined the game, and that's just because he missed Legacy DayZ when you just ran around and constantly ran into people.
And that
But
was
the thing
great,
is,
you know.
yeah.
Even the hunting around and finding barrels or a tent in the woods, that was great. And
Right.
if you like that, do that. But to shit on what is a very popular, and your channel's a great example of it, Tommy. Your most successful video is the top 5 base locations in DayZ. There is a lot of people some of these people probably don't even watch content creators, barely watch YouTube videos other than to find out about bases. And yeah,
Well, I was just saying then if they removed all base building servers from DayZ, I promise you that DayZ would have more than half the players left. Like there'd been like more than half the players gone. Sorry,
I agree.
Yeah,
it'd probably
go
be
rust.
maybe a 10% of of what there is now.
I hate to say it. If you removed base building tomorrow, I would reduce my play time by about 50%.
There's not literally like the okay. I used to do base build content, right? But I don't now because everyone has convinced themselves because they're bandwagoning with what the bigger streamers say that base raids and stuff like that are boring and base servers are boring. So I've had to completely change my style and just stay on the coast where I can run into people constantly and get content. You know, the only issue I see with bases, which is not really base building, is that it's just barricading, but is that they'll barricade places like wells, and I'm guilty of it. I make trap bases out of them, or like the medical or the PD. But a lot of servers have rules: no building in high traffic areas, no building in military, 1,000 meters from the coast.
No locking down hospitals and police stations.
Yeah. The most common rules I see now include no building in government buildings or military areas.
Yeah.
No blocking off of police stations. And no blocking off of core facilities such as wells.
You said before, Tommy. I want to quickly go back though. You were a bit ashamed of console. Now we've got one of the console ambassadors in chat, Scalespeeder. Why were you a bit embarrassed about saying you played on console?
I wouldn't say I'm a bit embarrassed, but I think the big thing is that if like I do love console, never not love console. It changed my life, the game. In gaming wise, it did. But I'm not also going to sit here and lie to myself and say console's better than PC. I think there's certain features of console that are better than PC. I probably had more fun altogether on console than I ever had on PC because it was where I first met the game and it was new. But I do think as well when you have a PC, like it does take it to a different level. And I think people that play PC and Xbox, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all because at the end of the day, it's Xbox is great.
With their friend circle, I know people who've come across, and it's like the one thing that still keeps them going back is most of their friends play console. PC gaming is still a smaller percentage of the gaming sphere of people. The majority of people who play video games play them on consoles.
I have a PS5, though, right? PS5 and a Series X, so I still have both the consoles. I still have all my console gaming. I understand the friendship sort of chat. That's definitely different, but the idea of going back to play DayZ console solo, I'd never do it. I wouldn't even entertain the idea because I think
I'll be honest. I think you're kind of mad, mate. I think console is still relatively untapped for someone to come in and become a. Correct me if I'm wrong. But for someone to come in and be a streamer of the caliber of a Smoke or the Running Man or something like that, but focusing on console.
Okay, so I actually have an example here of somebody who did exactly that. Legends of Mythos. I met Legends of Mythos on the PlayStation 4. Convinced him to switch over to PC and start streaming, and he's quite a successful Twitch streamer now. He made the transfer over, and he made the transfer over because he was about ready to give up the console playing of DayZ, mainly because he was only playing with his friends and the same friends that he always played, and he bumped into somebody that was. I wasn't doing it as a living at this point, but I was starting to create content. And he saw that there was an opportunity there to actually expand more within his game than he was doing. And since he's He does still play on console, but he's never gone back to playing how he played before. He doesn't play solo anymore. He doesn't play on his own anymore. No, the only times he goes back to playing console is when he's playing with his friends. The rest of his time is now spent on PC.
I will say, oh, my bad, brother. Go ahead.
Sorry, just going back to what you said there, Boyd. I think there's a gap in the market for the console, content creator. Again, this is quite embarrassing, but this is purely for the hours. I've got over nearly 4,000 hours on console. Right? I've got about 300 days.
Stop saying it's an embarrassing thing, mate. Nearly all of us. Nearly all of us started on console.
Of my life. No, not with nothing to do with the console. It was more the hours. I put too much of my life into it. It sort of took over my life.
I've got fucking 11,000 hours, I think, in total on DayZ. Mate, there are much worse vices to have than playing a fucking video game, regardless of what fucking Joe Rogan and fucking Jordan Peterson and all the rest of them say about people who play video games. I loved the fucking memes when COVID came in. And it was like, what? I'm going to be stuck at home and I can only access the internet? Gamers are fucking perfect for this environment. What changed for us? What fucking changed?
Literally nothing, because I live in Florida and we never locked down, baby.
It was our time to shine, baby.
I think everyone started using the internet and my internet sucked. That's the only thing that changed.
I just got Firebox the other day, actually. I'm quite lucky. But I think you can't make content on console DayZ, and I'll give two main reasons. Game's too broken, and it is still too broken, way too broken. And the second reason is I will openly admit, oh no, cancel me. I know every single glitch in the book on console. There is still, you can swim under the map. You can still duplicate loot. You can still X-ray. All you have to do is turn your console off and on, which is not, I'm not promoting it because everybody knows that if you play console long enough, you learn the way to use the glitches to your own,
that's
to your own power.
Consider fair point.
You need to learn how to use glitches. Will come to you by accident.
And also, when you're making content, half of it is interactions, and literally no one fucking talks on console.
Do you know the effort you have to go through to speak on console if you're in a party? So if I'm on Xbox, I've got to go into the party. I've got to press the Xbox home button, go into the party, switch to game chat.
I'll mute myself. I do apologise.
No worries.
No,
that's my point too.
You've got to switch to the party, switch to game chat. Then, if your friends are saying something to you while you're in party chat, you can't hear them because you're in game chat. Yeah. So they could be telling you your base is getting raided. Oh, this guy you're talking to is he's an enemy of the group. Then you switch back. What do you mean I can't speak to him? And then you go back into the game chat. Oh, you raided me. Just doesn't work. It's almost like so broken. Still,
they need to do Discord on console because I know the app's on console. I saw it, but if there was a way that you could talk in both at once and it wouldn't mute your game chat,
it's weird.
We've talked about that a lot on the podcast, because that's my biggest thing to his point about the duping and glitching and using the rendering texture glitches to X-ray. The other thing is no one talks, one, and two. I just don't think that there's enough content there as far as, because you can have, even with the new thing where it's 5-minute logout with alts, you can just go on a different console,
100%.
And it's not IP based. There's all these workarounds. I mean, really the only thing we have to deal with on PC is hackers. And I will say earlier, earlier, exactly. Earlier somebody said something about, he said, I'm embarrassed to admit console. They are kind of looked at as the underclass of the DayZ community, and I don't know why. Maybe because there's such an investment.
It's the PC Master Race meme, which is funny as a meme, and that is it. And anyone who is serious in their arrogance about fucking PC being better, it says more about you as a person than it does about people. Some people just like to be able to, and I've said this before on the podcast. There is a very big attraction, although it's getting a little bit scary at the moment with the way the last series of Xbox went. I think they did 2 upgrades to it, and if you had the original Xbox One, you found it your performance was a lot worse than the other ones. But there used to be a certain beauty about being able to buy a console and know that for the next 5 to 7 years, depending on the life of that console, every game that came out would work perfectly on your console. Now we're entering a period of acceleration in internet fucking technology and gaming technology and all the rest of it. If you've got a PC, it's pretty much every 1 to 2 years you're buying a relatively expensive part that is almost half the cost of a console. to keep your computer running at being a top of the line and compatible. Because
especially if you're making content, bro.
Yes.
Especially
if you want to stream and fucking play an intensive game, you need a pretty decent fucking rig. So there's so many of them who've got an extra fucking PC to run the stream for them, so that their gaming PC isn't impacted. There's a lot of fucking money here. What were you going to say?
I was saying, while you were on the toilet, I was actually explaining, I only got my PC 2021. That's my first ever PC. I was always a console gamer, and I totally agree with the idea that a console is so much easier than the PC. Me and Zodek always joke we hate PCs, we despise the things because there's so many issues with them. But I don't think there's a lower class to console, but there's also, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that DayZ on console isn't. It's so far behind. It's insanely far behind. It sounds awful. They're looking forward to chainmail Arma, and they get excited about the new Humvee, which totally understandable. I understand why. While people on PC have been flying helicopters for nearly 4 years now,
and that's what frustrates me when you see people having a go at them when they're introducing, stupid fucking clothing items and all the rest of it. It ties in with what Ray's just said in chat. I don't have an issue with console players. I have an issue with how much Bohemia cucked the game to go on console. But that's business.
To that point, though, they had they had to make the game into an arcade game to make it marketable, because the same thing that drew most of us, especially like prior service and outdoorsmen, into the game was the survival mechanic and the element of, I have this free reign to do whatever I want. I have to trust this guy. There's this mental exercise that goes into every interaction. Is this guy going to kill me? Should I kill him right now? Is he going to take my stuff? Now the game is like it's just leaps and bounds easier than it used to be, because they had to make it marketable for the casuals, man. They did cuck the game a lot, but in some ways they also made it a little harder, a little more difficult.
Michael's got a good point there as well. A lot of people work 40 hours a week or more. They want to just pick up a console controller, relax, play on the TV. Most people these days work involves a PC, so they don't want to play on one. Absolutely. And like I just said to him in chat, and there's something I actually miss is being able to just sit on the couch and play a fucking game. I've got a very comfortable Secret Labs, not sponsored, gaming chair. It's comfortable to sit in, but there's a certain beauty to just sitting on the couch with a fucking bowl of fucking Doritos or cheesy puffs or whatever next to you, and it's
dude, I still boot up. I'll sit down and boot up State of Decay 2 all the time, or Hitman or something. There's certain games I like playing more on console.
I play FIFA all the time on console. I'm addicted to FIFA, but I have the setup next to my PC, so I don't really have to move. But I get the idea. I bought the recent Call of Duty on console because I wanted to play it on controller. I couldn't be arsed fannying about with keyboard and mouse and thinking, bloody hell, I've got to do all these different buttons. I just wanted the simplicity of a controller.
Well, also with console, there's not as many fucking hackers on those kind of games, dude.
No, 100%. Yeah,
that's just better. DayZ is just one of those. The game itself is slightly better on PC, but the experience overall, because of all the limitations of console, is better.
I'll say it's a lot better on PC because of the amount of mods and variety that you can mix up. Mods aside, the amount of different maps. The amount of different maps.
Yeah, definitely.
This ties into something that I wanted to talk about this week. It's something I found out about, that they've got modding for Reforger. Does anyone know much about that? What the you do, Tommy?
Yeah, just a little bit. So the big thing with DayZ and why they won't allow modding on DayZ is because it means they have to open up the files, and opening up the files is such a security risk, and they also have to share them files then with Sony, which is a bit of But the thing with Reforger, it doesn't actually have modding. This is the big thing. People say it has modding. It doesn't have a Steam workshop. It doesn't have it's not an open sort of forum for anyone to make them. They have the tools in the game already. So the tools that are given to them are already in Reforger. It's not modding as such. It's more making, it's like a Just Cause 4. There's an arcade mode where you can add things like Ubisoft games have them on console where they have tools in the game. So with the modding on Reforger, it's not a sense of you go onto the Xbox and think, oh, Johnny from Timbuktu has made this new mod for us all to try out. It's more of a Johnny's been playing Reforger and he's learned how to use the tools properly, and he's then using them tools to make the mods. I'm trying to think of a game example, but I can't really. But I know there is in like Ubisoft have them.
Fortnite creative mode.
Exactly, you're 100%. There you go. It's not an external force coming in modding. It's an in-game tool that people may get good at. I don't know.
It's our equivalent in DayZ of object builder.
There you go.
But with more tools. And it's limited to the, I suppose in our case, server. But in their case, it's slightly more open than that. But it's limited to, you can build this within your game. You can share this, but not through a massive open platform like Steam.
Exactly. It's a bit like that in, like I said, the Ubisoft or the Fortnite Creative Store, where you can download
is it a
other
bit
people's
like
maps.
what the when people were making maps for Halo, and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit, but
my mind went
less,
straight back to fourth grade,
technical.
Making maps on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yeah, a lot less technical though. This is done in game.
Yeah.
So they're doing this within the game themselves.
Oh, but hang on. What the fuck was that, Archie?
That's a jug of sweet tea, bro.
Oh, sweet tea. I bet it's so far from what a cup of tea is. I bet it's the opposite of tea.
It's cold and full of honey and simple sugar, man.
Nothing like a black tea. Nothing like Yorkshire brew.
No, can you
that's why
can you put that back on the camera? Can you put that?
My teeth aren't yellow and crooked because I drink sweet tea. Look at these teeth.
Drink sweet tea with so much sugar in it, it could put down a diabetic.
No,
that just needs like 4 X's on the side, or 3 X's or whatever it is for moonshine.
I have a moonshine looking bottle, dude.
Do you do the jug music?
Listen, man, you're bordering on stereotypical bigotry here, man. Okay,
100%. I am 100%.
Let me go get my Jew harp. Boing, 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 boing. I actually can play that.
Dueling banjos, like the Deliverance.
I love my culture. But honestly, yeah, I don't use sugar, man, because my whole family is diabetic, and I'm terrified I'm gonna get it. So
looking like biodiesel.
Yeah, man. Well, it's actually like if you just tea is like actually gotten me off soda, bro. Like I know this has nothing to do with DayZ, but I would just go in there and grab sodas and mindlessly drink 6 or 7 a day since I left the service.
Yeah,
and because I can treat myself now. But I realized how much fucking sugar and salt is in those. And if I just grab a tea that's sweetened with honey, it's all natural, right? It's water, couple tea bags, and honey. It's so much healthier than a fucking 7, even 1 soda. So, and I'm keeping hydrated and cleaning myself out. So, and it tastes great. It tastes better than a Dr. Pepper to me. So.
I like what Michael's saying in chat there. I figure the next update will get the summer update with beach balls, boogie boards, and bathing suits. To me, it's DayZ meets The Sims. He's talking about because part of the reason why I brought it up is I had a mate of mine, Spud, reach out to me and tell me about a survival mod for Arma Reforger, and that he said it's still buggy, which kind of made me laugh. It's like it wouldn't be a BI product without there being bugs inherent to it, but. I am interested to see how things going because as Reforger gets better and better, are people going to start moving over to what is a graphically better game? Now we're already seeing some modders abandon DayZ and they're going over to make mods for Reforger.
I actually had a long chat with Josh and Lewis about this Exclusion and JLK recently, and it was a long old chat because
look at Dave's face.
Exclusion's a big believer that when Arma 4 comes out, it's going to ruin DayZ, but I'm the totally opposite because I think DayZ now is its own entity. I don't think that it'll ever be able to be overtaken by a modded on another game. I think DayZ is purely its own entity. And it's its own entity, of course it is. It's got its own Steam page. You can buy the game separately to Arma. And we're not stuck in the days of when
you can't buy it at the moment because it's off the Steam Workshop. And they still haven't given a proper answer about what's up with that. That's like conspiracy theory fucking territory, man. It's like, they're not selling DayZ, but they still sell it on their website.
Now, the idea that DayZ players will switch to another platform to play DayZ is almost hilarious. DayZ players will not switch over to another platform to play DayZ until there is a new DayZ. they will switch over temporarily to play what is a modded version or a glorified version or
I
a
think that's what he meant,
cleaner version of DayZ. Yes, they will do that for a short period of time, but they will come straight back to DayZ. Of course they will. It's like saying, hey, you know what? We couldn't release Fallout 5, so we release a demo version of Fallout 5 for you that you can play around with for the next 6 months. Yeah, everyone's going to play around with it. And then they're going to get bored. And they're going to come back to DayZ.
Well, I mean, there's certain. I would love to see DayZ on the new Infusion engine, like everyone else would, and for the devs to be able to, because we all know how much they love working with that spaghetti code we call it, that is DayZ, which is what's limiting them, in my opinion.
Remember though, with the next update, they have unspaghettied a lot of that code.
I feel so bad for whoever had to do that. I think I know who it is, but I love you, dude. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. You're not getting paid enough, but yeah. I definitely would love to see DayZ on Infusion, and even just playing that the mod that Mark's made the video of. Every time the servers reset, the glass and the windows and the doors returns, so you can shoot it out again and stuff like that. It's just so much more immersive, in my opinion, And DayZ's pretty immersive anyway, but on that new engine, man, and the surfaces seem to work a lot better. So, which is I think what causes a lot of the issues with vehicles and colliders, hitboxes, whatever they want to call them. The geometry on the tires colliding with the surfaces of the map, the baked-in surfaces.
One of the things that won't kill DayZ and that'll keep DayZ alive for a good few years at the very least, even if they decided all of a sudden they were going to drop we've made the version of DayZ 2, here is the beta on the next engine. DayZ would still stay alive, and one of the reasons is that a lot of the people that are playing DayZ are not playing on the kind of systems that we're playing on. They're not I mean, I don't have the world's greatest system, not even close. I have what I would describe as a reputable system.
So, like, their own technology is going to limit their ability to play on the new game?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm still playing Diablo 2, bro. I never played Diablo 3 because that game charmed me in a way.
I want to say something. Mr. White's just said in chat there, Arma is an army game, make a new survival game, devs. But it was only a week or two ago we were talking about someone found survival-related code in the Arma files about food consumption or something like that, which, are they changing the way the Arma is, that you've got to start drinking and eating to maintain your character? Or is that setting it up for basically creating an engine that they can build a new DayZ on, as well as, it would make sense to have...
No, it's from a modest point of view, it's more putting in the base code. We can put in the base code now. It doesn't really do anything.
But base code for something that's never been a part of the game before?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It's not going to activate anything, but it's going to help people like modders and whatnot down the line, and it's going to help us down the line when we come to development. When we come to further development, we want to put something that's similar to this in. We've already had it there, core and running for a long time, that nobody knew about, and it works.
And what Scott Scarspeeder just said in chat isn't a hot take. It's true. Console DayZ saved PC DayZ just as much as the Steam Workshop. 100%. Yeah. It sucks that they've, that they've dumbed down some of the game. I do agree with that take to make it a bit more console friendly. But at the same time, it's business.
It's marketing.
They're not a not-for-profit business that's funded by crowdfunding and all the rest of it. They need people buying the game. And console and, the Xbox Live Pass provides that steady, constant flow of revenue that a business needs. And if they don't have it, sorry, they close the fucking doors or they get bought out. Do we want fucking DayZ to be bought out by fucking Activision or EA Games or fucking Blizzard?
No.
So we get a reskinned re-release every year? No.
Yeah.
I think all the inconveniences that have been brought along because they were trying to make it more marketable to the console community, like location switching when you switch servers and things like that, they're worth it, because I remember, just like I'm sure you do, Boydie, and I'm sure you do, Dave, when in 2017 when I was playing this game and absolutely madly in love with it, and there were 1,100 active players.
Yep.
And then when console was announced in 6.3, I remember being like kind of intimidated, thinking, holy shit, now everyone's going to be playing this game. Is it going to be a bad thing? But now, I mean,
it's been nothing but good. It has
Yeah, it's
honestly
been
been
perfect,
nothing but
man.
good. Other
I
than a
thought
few of the bitchy comments on fucking Twitter, but that's Twitter. You get bitchy comments about fucking
Well,
everything.
also they're being held
It
to
has
like
fed people into the PC ecosystem.
yeah.
There are a lot of gamers.
And it's also making the devs put out new content because there's players, right? There's an active player base now that there wasn't before. I mean, 6.2, that update before 6.3, it was like 2 years, right? It was so. I mean, we had presence in
long.
Yeah, I mean, but now they're now they have to put out content. No, you're good, man.
I just think, obviously, there's a bit of a delay. It's Discord. I hate Discord. That's a hot take. I love TeamSpeak. We all record on TeamSpeak. Little fun, little fact for you there. We all hate Discord. I hate Discord. But
I miss TeamSpeak. I do miss TeamSpeak back in the day.
We still use it. We all still use it. But I think hot take here would be that why does maybe it's just me. Why does anyone want a new game? I don't understand why people would want a new game.
No, I do, because graphically, DayZ is still a very good looking game, but the level that we've seen of what these the Unreal Engine, the new one, and fucking even Inforger are bringing it's fucking next level. And I would love to play in a DayZ realistic world. DayZ is one of the more realistic games, and that's what I like about it. But that to me is the biggest attraction, is that graphical upgrade.
I'm a little with Tommy here, though. Not everyone has the facilities to properly utilize that graphic upgrade.
Sounds like a skill issue.
I recently bought a PC.
That was a meme. That was a meme.
100%. I recently bought a PC with 2080 in it and a Ryzen 9. I bought Josh's old one, actually. Bought Josh's old editing one. Yeah, that was his editing one. I know why, I don't know. But I just think
it worked.
Well, obviously it works, but I don't know why you need such a powerful PC just to bloody edit. The guy's insane.
Yeah.
But
rendering.
I think like, because DayZ has already upgraded engines before this DayZ game. I'm pretty sure I wasn't really playing much then.
Yeah.
So why can't it just upgrade again? Why do we need a new game? Because I think getting a new game, I think personally, would kill DayZ, because it'd split the player base, and it'd be the whole. We all know what this community is like. I've never met a community like it. Everyone cries about something. There's always something to cry about. It in this, you'd have half the people saying, "I'm done. I'm playing this old version. The new version's horrendous. No one wants to see that."
Which is exactly what would happen, bro.
Then you'd have the other half going, "You know what? This new version's mint. I love it. Let's everyone get on it." And it'd split the player base. I just think if there's going to be a new update for DayZ, or if you like you said there, buddy, you want the newer graphics. You just need an engine upgrade on this game, not a new game. I think a new game would kill this game.
The engine that they're on now, the one, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, didn't they completely rebuild it from scratch for 6.3?
Yeah.
And so it's not old anyway. The thing is, it's like the problem is, it's like I used this analogy before, Tommy. Imagine you buy a 10-year-old car, right? And it's a beater. And 40 people have worked on that car in the past, and the car keeps breaking down, and then you have to undo what 40 people did to fix the one thing that the 12th guy fucked up to make it run again, right? That's pretty, if that makes sense. I hope it does.
Yeah, it does.
That's what the devs are dealing with. They're cycling through people. Now, granted, a lot of people that work there, like Impulse and them, and Adam Sumrak, they worked up the ranks. They've been there a while, and most of them are coming from the community. But that's the issue with DayZ. Yeah. The engine isn't that bad. It's undoing what some guy did 12 steps ago that broke everything.
Yeah.
And
what we technically have here is a completely custom built engine.
Right.
That's been custom built from the ground up.
So I think people don't want a new game as much as they want a new engine.
Because a new game would mean that the majority of what a lot of modders and creators do won't work anymore.
Yeah, that's another big thing. You're right there,
and relearn it all. And do you think someone who has spent a decade learning this, learning how everything works and how it all works, and releasing a great epic creation for it that has blown up like no tomorrow, is going to want to do that again?
Well, the thing is, like, remember in 1.08 when they redid about like 5 or 6 of the house skins, the interiors and exteriors, the models, the assets of the houses, that breathed so much new life into the game, and it made the game look better, because the RV mats, the lighting in DayZ, if you've ever modded or messed with the textures, it's so hard to get it right.
Yeah.
And they just that in 1.08 when they added the double brown, that used to just be double green and double red. They added double brown. They put the ladder in there, like they were remodeling the house. The houses feel more lived in. And they did the new PD for 6.3, right? They used to just be the old PDs everywhere. They've added a few new things, obviously the Humvees and stuff. But if they could go in and just redo some of the old antiquated Arma 2 textures, then it would feel like a new game aesthetically, right? And
Yeah.
I know it's not that difficult to do. I know someone's gonna shit on me and dick slap me for saying that, but anyone who's messed around with modding knows how easy it is to swap a building out, right? So going in and modeling them and the licensing and the legal and everything that comes with that, if you're using an in-house modder, couldn't be that terrible. I know I'm speaking from an inexperienced position here. I'm just in school for game design. I've never worked at a company. But that right there, that alone, that 1.08 update made me feel like I was playing a new game. So maybe if they just, consistently updated some of the older, more, antiquated, ugly looking 2D textures, like some of the military buildings, like camo, right? That thing is historically, it's looked the same for 10 years since 2012, 11 years now. Even since the mod, a lot of the stuff is from Arma 2. It's just outdated. So maybe if they replace that.
Totally get
It's
what you
going to be
mean. I just
interesting.
think, yeah, it's definitely going to be something, but there's a lot more bigger problems, I think, in the DayZ world right now that need to be sorted before anyone starts moaning about a new game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you guys see what I just showed on the camera then? It was a bit hard.
It looked like a vinyl.
Yeah, that's the Molsk vinyl record.
The Molsk vinyl, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately,
it's very well done. Who's made that?
Bubson. There's a company that you can link with, and you can create limited runs of a vinyl. And yeah, it's a sexy fucking record. It's not mine. I've got to go back and watch the episode and find out who won it at Christmas, and ship it back onto them. But yeah, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And if vinyl's going through a big revival at the moment, as it should, because it's just a certain nuance to it.
It sounds so much better, bro. It's
I own a lot of vinyl.
Yeah, a lot of us that grew up.
This is my favorite vinyl that I've got.
Hey, what's the N? What does the N stand for in that, buddy?
Yeah. Paris. Paris.
I have an M&M on vinyl. Oh, Kanye over there. I have a M&M vinyl. What album? I don't know what album it is now, but yeah, I'm big into my music. I've played guitar all my life, so.
Dude, doesn't it sound better? I was told that my whole life, and then because I grew up on CD players and MP3s and stuff. I'm 32. And then my wife bought me a record player, and she knows I love Tangerine Dream. They do a lot of original soundtracks for movies and stuff, especially 80s and early 90s horror movies like like Firestarter and Escape from LA, stuff like that. And listening to that on vinyl, bro, with the acoustics in my house, I have a tile floor. It's fucking unbelievable. It's like I'm in an auditorium listening to them play.
Recently bought a Willie Nelson vinyl. That does sound beautiful.
I'm liking Tommy more and more, man. I'm telling
you. It's funny. Like I've always looked at your little camp over there, Tommy, with JLK and Barbarius and all the other lads that you've played with and that. And it's almost like you're just off to the side doing your own thing with DayZ. Very rarely do I see you guys getting caught up in a lot of the drama in the DayZ community. It's awesome.
I think the big thing is, and like I said, this is going to sound really awful, but you don't do it, so it's not just that. But I think a lot of people, and this is going to sound like horrible, but it's not meant to do, because of the age of certain streamers and sort of, well,
you're not being ageist, are you? You're not having to go to soul farts, are you?
100%, buddy, because you don't do it. But there is certain streamers, I think, with age, a certain authority they think they have. And I think a big thing is for me, Josh, Lewis, we don't care. We're all young. We all have a laugh. We all enjoy the game, and we all make content. We don't want to be releasing statements on in real life topics. We don't want to be releasing.
I do that shit all the time, but I just do it from the opinion, from the avenue of this is just my opinion. I don't think I'm. I openly admit I could be wrong. Like I had someone send me a bunch of fucking DMs about you again, Archie. And I basically just said, look, why
didn't they DM me, fucking pussy? What's your problem? I got DMs. I got Discord. My Twitter's open. DM me. Stop running to daddy.
I just said people are allowed to have an opinion. It doesn't mean that their opinion is right. I openly admit that I could be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm always out there looking for new information on anything. But that's just it. It's just an opinion. If you don't agree with it, so what? Doesn't mean you have to hate someone. I personally encourage people to be more open about ideas and stuff. Because everyone's too scared to talk about shit these days, and it's kind of sad. The less we talk, the less you can hear other people, other opinions that are contrary to your own.
Is different to what this DayZ community does at the moment, because I always say to Josh, when there's certain streamers and certain YouTubers, and I'll say it straight, there is a lot. It's more streamers than YouTubers. Go and make a tweet, and then don't name names, don't say anything, but then cry. Well, this guy, certain creators in this scene are horrendous people. Right, well, name them then. No, I can't. Well, why are you saying it then? What's the point?
Because they're cowards, man. Because they want to.
You want to be the victim.
Glass, man.
You want to run a victim's monologue, and that's about it. And I think as well, this scene, like this DayZ scene, is just so. It's filled with people that need to remember that, a big channel. Some people do have a big channel, 120k, 130k, pulling 50,000 people watching them on a stream. The end of the day, if you ask your mum who these certain streamers are, none of them are going to be known.
Exactly, bro. So stop thinking you're a fucking cult leader.
Exactly.
That's
you're
my
not
thing,
that big.
dude.
You're not that cool. No one cares. I have bigger in real life problems to worry about than if a certain streamer said to the other streamer that they don't like the content. Oh my god, what a shame. Move on.
And I've went back to keeping a second shitpost account because Boydie dick slapped me for a picture I posted. So now I have a shitpost account so he doesn't have to get on to me for stuff. But yeah, you're right though, bro. They're looking for any reason to tear down the competition.
And I do wonder how much of it is genuine about them wanting to either. Sorry, where am I going with this? But I do wonder how much of it is genuinely they don't like your opinion, or they're just looking for a chance to shut down the competition.
That's it. That's all it is, bro. I'm telling you, 1,000%. These people can't compete. They can't compete with a big personality. If you're funny, clever, witty, or you're just naturally creative as fuck, and you're killing it, and they can't be. They hate it. They're angsty. They're covetous. They want what you have, and they don't want to put the work in.
I like what Michael just said. I could never be a cult leader. I can't even get my girlfriend to do what I ask her to.
Right, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9:45 here, and I'm obviously on a.
Is it what 9:45 at night?
Yeah, it's 9:45.
Man, I fucking forgot just how north you guys are. It should be fucking pitch black by now.
That's wild,
it almost is. My camera's weirdly doing a great job of making it look like it's daytime. I have no idea why, because it's really dark.
Mama's trying to lure him to the tent. We got to let Dave go. They're on a romantic getaway. Here he is working.
I'm also in an area where if I don't shut up in 15 minutes, I will be told off.
Oh, someone will call the noise police on you.
The old Bill. You don't want the old Bill coming along.
Coming along with his
putting you in Scotland Yard, mate.
No worries, buddy. We will see you next week, Dave. And I want to talk to you about that Namol server idea as well, mate, that I messaged you about as well. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me while I'm still on holiday. I do apologize if the video quality sucked or if the audio quality was. I am in a field, I'm enjoying myself and enjoying one of our little quiet little things we enjoy in life, which is getting back to nature.
He just wants to get off camera because he's desperate for a white lightning and he doesn't want to do it on camera anymore.
Oh yeah.
I
definitely want the white lightning.
It's an on-running joke. We're not going to go into it. It's just if you know, you know. It's an on-running joke.
I was going to say, but I've not had a white lightning in years.
Gotta live in my squalor.
Hey, how are you selling your drugs out there, bro?
Oh god, that was hilarious.
It's all right. I've got a second phone.
All right, brother. Be good, man. Enjoy it with the missus.
Take care, everyone. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, bro. Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you, Tommy. You enjoy these lads. Don't take them too seriously.
Catch you later, mate.
Catch you later.
But yeah, look, I don't like that side of it. I don't. There's very, very few people I've ever blocked. There's very, very few people. If I don't agree with someone's philosophy, that spat, I'll just unfollow them for the most part.
100. I don't understand blocking. I've never understood blocking. It's like a weird thing people do, and grown men do it all the time, and that's even more concerning.
I love this fucking guy, dude.
It's even more like Tommy, like why do you do that? Because at the end of the day, blocking is a funny one. But no, as you mentioned before, like this sort of group, like Baba, JLK, it's just because we all just get on and we're laid back. But the another big thing is, and I'm not saying that people that make drama have no life. We have such a big life out of this game. We have such a big life outside of this
most
game.
People's problem. They don't have any social life, so there's no natural drama occurring. So they have to create it in their bubble that they've created. Because this, I mean, the platform kind of draws antisocial people because they're allowed to be social because they're having one-way conversations with their webcam.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but I agree with you 1,000% about blocking. Every time DayZ tweets, I've never even spoken to any of these people IRL, by the way, these other content creators. When DayZ will tweet, I'll go to the comments and I can't see half of them because I'm blocked. It's,
it's a funny one. Like I don't know Josh that's blocked anyone. Like me and Josh have met in real life and planning to meet others, and it's because we have that, it's not just friends on a Discord call or a TeamSpeak call. It's more real. That's why there would never be the drama, because like I said, I'm only young, I'm not He-Man, but me and the lads will go out, something might kick off, that's my drama, you know what I mean? That football, going to football match and it kicking off, that's my drama, not someone saying they don't like the other person's content. Another big
I mean, if you're starved for it, you got to create it somewhere, and I know.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the problem for sure, 1,000%. And that alone, right there, what we just said, is going to set off a lot of people. They're going to be coping and seething and sending Boydie DMs about what kind of guests and co-hosts he has.
I genuinely don't care.
He really does.
Pretty much, unless someone is a pedophile or a fucking a serious rapist, fucking neo-Nazi, fucking calling for the extermination of fucking a whatever fucking identity. It's just opinions. It's just opinions. You've got to just get over it. Just get over it, people. It's not fucking, everyone has different opinions on things. You might not like something about someone. Going back to you might not like someone who likes base building in DayZ, but that's just the way that they view something. Unless they're doing the really extreme shit, I genuinely don't care. I just want to hear from people and try to understand their point of view on something. Maybe it might enlighten me and prove me that I was wrong on something. But yeah.
A lot of these people are older than my dad, a lot of them, because my dad's quite young, only 42. And I always try and think, if my dad was on Twitter, and my dad is on Twitter, he's a big football fan. If he was on Twitter, would he be starting drama with other 40-year-old men and telling them that he doesn't like the videos? Probably not, because my dad has better things to be doing in his life.
It reminds me of when I was in the service and I went to shore duty. I was in the submarine service, so I was never around females. But when I went to shore duty, there were females there, and they would backbite and honeypot and talk down about the other females when they weren't around because they wanted the promotion. So it's a popularity contest, and they would go around and stir up gossip and shit. And then as soon as they're done talking shit about the other person with you and they walk away, they're talking shit about you with a new person, right? And that's kind of what I noticed with this community, man. Is it's
I wanted to show something. I wanted to show you something. My son sent me this the other day, and
I've seen this.
This is fucking hilarious, Archie. This is football in a fucking nutshell. Like, but I know it's completely off of the DayZ fucking theme. But when you said about you love to go to the football and all the rest of it, British fucking football is a whole fucking next level. But this scene, we've all seen fights, it's fucking soccer hooligans and all the rest of it. This is one of the most amazing scenes you will ever see, Archie. Watch this.
Is this the bloke? Yeah, it is. I know.
Look at the fucking size of this guy. Look at how many
He's
of them.
He's probably about 50 odd as well. He's about 50 odd. And that's what you do. You go on football, go subscribe. I recommend you watch a film called Green Street if you've never seen it.
I've seen it.
It's got Elijah Wood in it. Charlie Hunnam. Incredible film. It's a bit old fashioned, but this is West Ham. This is West Ham. This is what the film's based on.
Look at how many of them there are. and these two guys are holding them off, Archie.
Well, that's just because the English have warrior DNA, bro. I mean, they conquered the world from an island.
That is just like a big typical British bloke. He's having none of that. You know what I mean? Because they're all kids. He don't give a shit. He's thinking he'll go home with a few bruises. He'll lever him.
Two West Ham fans managing to stop a mob of AZ Alkmaar fans from getting to the hospitality section where all the players' families are seated. And the tweet that I saw that from was, if this was recounted in ancient myth, future historians would not have believed it. Two blokes, it's basically like a 300 sort of meme. I thought that was absolutely fucking hilarious. I know that's completely not DayZ related, but when you're talking about it, it popped up into my head that's just the most amazing.
Because that's a lot of European teams you'll find, or teams from across the globe. They'll have like these sort of what you call ultras. They're ultra fans, but it's ultras, and a lot of them very aggressive. Like you find them in like Real Madrid has them, and like Inter Milan, like European teams. So that's them trying to act all solid.
But that guy, he literally, that's like a fucking giant meme, David and Goliath, isn't it, fucking Archie? Yeah. He just looked monstrous compared to these, and because they were all wearing the same black hoodies, it looked like a fucking meme. It looked like it was a setup of all these little incel memes charging the fucking the Chad guy at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, that's when you pull out the treats for the kitty cats. No, I wish we could get in fights like that here in Florida, but it would have just turned into a gun battle.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing that football used to promote as well. Obviously, not much anymore, but it was the idea that you go out on a Saturday, you'd throw a few hands with the opposite team, you'd get a bit messy, and then you'd go home, and that'd be it. Then you'd do it again the Saturday after, and there'd be no violence. No one would have weapons. You don't do that. You might throw a bottle or two, but that'd be it, and you'd be done.
Yeah, it's a thing, man. Like getting in an old-fashioned Donnybrook ain't a thing no more. Sometimes people will honor, pugilistic combat, but these days it's a knife or a gun, man. Yeah, but no, I love that culture of the football hooligans, man, because that's their identity is like wrapped up in a sports team, and you don't see that as much in America. Over here, it's more like politics or like whatever motorcycle club they're in. But at least they keep it, fisty scully, man. That's a man's thing too, That's like a masculine culture to be a part of. I've never personally seen any gals out there throwing hands like that, but it'd probably be pretty cool. Much respect for it though. I'm not one of those trolls. It's like, it's called soccer, I love it.
I just do that to get a rise out of all the UK people. And I love sharing those memes of the soccer players getting, blown a breath of air on, and then they fall over and they're screaming in pain and all the rest of it. But yeah,
I thought it was funny, Chad. I don't know why you guys are upset. That was funny. That was a good video.
It's all tactical, that, to be honest with you, because like the whole thing is you want to get as many fouls as possible in corners and.
There's a video getting around of Kobe Bryant doing LeBron James doing the same thing. Basically, someone.
It's all tactical. They don't actually get hurt. I'm
about to say Kobe Bryant's doing the plank at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah, he ain't around much longer.
But no, man, you and the boys are doing an amazing thing over there. You pretty much just do your own thing and are creating some pretty much amazing content that is setting the benchmark for a lot of other people.
Well, I know Josh has got a huge video coming out soon. I think it's next week, which is very classic JLK style. Pretty sure most people know he's doing a village. So
Josh is JLK. Josh is JLK, folks.
Yeah. So I need to say this more. JLK is doing it's a bit of classic, but
Tommy's honestly, flexing here by calling him Josh. JLK. We're on a first name basis. But we've been we hang out in IRL.
Big flex.
We put on black hoodies and go to football too.
The big thing. Oh no, me and Josh support very opposite teams. There'd be definitely no getting together and going to a football match, 100%. But no, it's because I wouldn't be playing with him and go, "Yo, JLK guy on me," or I wouldn't say, "Yo, exclusion guy on me." So no, I'm very lucky. I always say that. Obviously, I've got my in real life group of friends who mock me for my channel, but it's what I do to them. And then I've got Josh, who I can turn to for anything. And I always say it, but Lewis as well, Zodek, and anyone. I could message Erno and ask him. Baba has been very helpful in the past, So just a good group of lads, to be honest with you. And
you're blessed, brother. But it sounds like you're aware of that. I mean, you
100%.
people would literally pay to
But
be in the position.
it doesn't mean, Archie, that you can have good people around you, but if you're still not making good content,
it's absolutely deserved. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I talk about Mr. Beast brother. The dude made a video and bought him all that fucking top level gear. Where is the guy now? Yeah, you've still got to have talent, don't you, Archie? Regardless of who you're playing with.
Yeah, he doesn't have a PR team going around and telling him what to do either, to be fair. But yeah, I agree 1,000%. You got to make your own way. If your content sucks, you can coattail as much as you want. You're never going to be as successful as the people around you. But you are the average of the people you.
But I am lucky. I'm also looking. I'm not going to sit here and lie to both of you and anyone watching and say, well, I've built my channel up from the ground, and 100% I would not be in the position if it wasn't for Josh and Lewis and Zodek. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to pretend. I wouldn't have got. No, I'm not going to be this like this guy, I built this from the ground up. A little fun story, and I'll openly admit this. I have a short on my channel that's got to 72,000 views, right? Do you know who made me that short? JLK. He got bored one night and made it and sent it me. So there's 100%, a lot of it is my work because I'm the one that can edit and I edit my videos. But then again, them lads have got me the exposure. They've helped me and they've told me what software to use. They've told me I need to buy these certain headset, which I now own. What mic I should buy, what mouse I should be looking at. So 100% I would not be in the position I am. And I say that like I'm in some crazy position.
Mate, you're just networking. That's all it is. You just found some successful, good people. And
when I first met them, I was never going to make a channel. I met them playing together. Like I met them on the gun running video, which was back in November. It was Lewis. It's Lewis's best video. It's his how I built a gun running empire in DayZ.
Well, you've been through it. I mean, you honestly have a good enough personality that they kept you around because
well, it's because we're friends. That's the big thing. We're friends. Me and Lewis me and Exclusion are continuously playing GTA together as well. That's like we play that all the time. GTA RP, we love that at the moment. And like I said, me and Zodek sit in calls for hours and hours and just talk. We're friends. That's the big key thing in it all. It's not we're all in the workplace making videos together. We're all mates, very close mates. So that's the key to it all.
Yeah, that's you sound very modest though, and maybe a little more than you should be because you're.
Well, I'm modest because I'm also realistic, and I'm very cocky as well. I love like some of my content's mint, I think, and I am very.
Well,
cocky,
there's a difference in being cocky and confident. I think you're confident.
Yeah, I think the big thing is though as well is because I don't give a shite what people think. I get comments, and some of my videos I watch, and then I just move on to the next one. You know what I mean? Like that top 5 base locations, I am so embarrassed that did so well. I made that when I had no content.
We talk about that all the time. Days. It's so funny how you'll sit and because I used to do long form content, 20, 30-minute base rate videos and shit. And I would spend a week, 2 weeks editing, make it fucking perfect, right? It would get 5,000 views. Then I would come out and do a video. This is how you survive cholera and get 250,000,
Exactly.
And it's just like, bro, what? And then I would Marks, people make fun of him because his videos are really low quality, not low quality, sorry, production value wise. It's just him talking over content or him talking over screen grabs, right? And so he puts his mic on and then talks over some fucking recordings that he's made. And he puts that out there and immediately it blows up because he's consistent. You know what I mean?
Even Josh said something recently, didn't he? JLK about, even with a channel his size and with his knowledge of how to do a DayZ video, you just sometimes don't know what's going to hit and what's not going to, do you, Archie?
No, bro. No, I'll do everything right. And a video like shorts, especially, are fucking weird. I've noticed the time of day that I put them out really matters. If I put one out at like 7 p.m., it'll instantly hit like 2K right off like in the first 10 minutes. It's crazy. But I'll make it short and put all this effort into it. Make sure the music is just right, EQs or everything's perfect. It's funny, and I'll put it out and it won't do well. Then I'll put one out that I'm like, this sucks, but I need to put a video out and it'll blow up.
Yeah. No, that's the funny thing. But no, like that short Josh made me, that did really well. And he made that because we'd both figured out about this AI voice thing. And we were both laughing one night and he was like, I might make one. And then he was like, well, I can't really load it to my channel. It won't fit in with my content. You can have it if you want. And it's because we're all mates. Like we found it funny. I uploaded it. I got 78 70,000 views from it. 72,000.
Yeah, man, that quirky, memey, obscure shit always does the best for some reason, and I think it's because it reaches an audience that's outside of your target demographic, if that makes sense. I'll just keep the shit out of my desk, sorry, but yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Like I made a video like it was called "How to Hack in DayZ," and then when it started, this guy pops up and takes a picture of you, so it's like you're busted. And then it was doing great, and then YouTube was like, "Oh, this guy's sharing how to hack," so it tanked off, right? But that had nothing to do with my typical content. It was just a meme. It's just weird, man. It's such a fickle bitch, bro.
Now, I want to quickly segue into something. Again, this one's not really DayZ related per se, but it was something that popped up, and the reason I'm talking about it is it made me think of a mate of mine who I met through DayZ, and becoming a shitty content creator myself, but I found out about a website, and I know people are always looking for a good charity or something to fundraise for, and this is one that really resonated with me. And it's called Scotty's Little Soldiers. And part of the reason why I shared this out on Twitter, I'm not sure if it went out. I'm having some problems with Twitter on my iPad only, but it won't send a tweet, which is probably a blessing, considering half the stuff I do tweet. But for those of you who remember, May 22nd, 2013, my dad, Fusilier Lee Rigby, was murdered when this kid was only 2.5 years old. And this marks the 10-year anniversary. It's never easy, but this year feels even harder for some reason. My mum registered me with Scotty's in 2013, and I've been a proud member ever since. I have met other children that understand what it's like to be in this position. So basically, this charity is a charity that raises money for kids who've lost their parent who were served in the military. And Lee Rigby's case was a particularly chilling one.
I remember it on the news, actually. I remember waking up.
It was horrible.
Seeing it.
Absolutely fucking horrible. And if you're looking for a charity or you want to do a donation, I will share this in chat now. But this is just it's kids, it's veterans, and I sent the link to a mate of mine who he lost his best mate who was in the military who has kids as well, and I said maybe this charity can help your mate's kids as well. But I think this is just bloody beautiful. Here's the link in chat for you folks if you've got a few quid that you can spare, and want to find out more about the organisation. But that's absolutely brilliant. The reason I bring it up is someone wants Archie to shave his beard. Maybe we could talk Archie into, if we could reach a milestone, he'll shave his beard live on stream or something.
Listen, at present, that's great. By the way, as a veteran who has children, and I've had a lot of friends lose their lives, and their widows are having to bear the brunt. The Navy only pays you $400,000, and that does not last long.
No.
But I'm sponsoring 2 cats right now that both need surgeries. I'm a cat dad now. I know, make fun of me if you want, but it's we're saving the beard and the head for that. If I hit $1,000, I'm shaving it all.
Yep.
Back to baby face. So
you guys have got Lieutenant Dan though. He's fucking awesome, man. I love what he does for veterans in the US.
Yeah, I love him, dude.
Yeah.
I just watched Forrest Gump with my son. He had never seen it. We watched it for the first time last weekend. He fucking loved it.
What do you got coming up, Tommy?
Content wise, still loading. Me and Josh are going to be playing again together next week when all the servers wipe. Waiting for the wipe. The wipe will be on the 24th. Yeah, not much. Me and Zodiac will be playing together again soon. Hoping to play with, Baba. I did play with Baba before, but we didn't really make a video of it. So some stuff just wasn't working out in the actual, map we were playing server.
But Baba's in Australia, isn't he?
He is, yeah, he is.
How does he go playing with you guys on the European servers?
Give me a second, sorry.
It's probably a pain in the ass, just like our pain in the ass when it comes to you having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. By the way, guys, Boydie has to get up at like 4:30 in the morning to do this podcast. Man, that shit is insane.
No, big props to you. No, but regarding Baba, we basically played late evening and we managed to get on because the big thing, me, Josh, and others don't mind staying up till, Zodiac especially don't mind staying up late. So we played usually when it was later, but you can get a lot done. Obviously, we don't play vanilla servers. We don't play hard. Well, we still play hard servers, but we stick to rearms, aftermaths, stuff like that. So we can get what we need to do done in a 3-hour period. And
That's another thing people don't really understand a lot, man, is it's hard to get content, period.
oh God, oh yeah.
Like everything has to go perfect when you're not scripting. Everything. You can kind of fill in the blanks if you're good at it with narration and voiceovers, but it's so difficult to get content,
Well, I want
especially like when you're getting stream sniped and shit the whole time, or people are metagaming you.
I won't explain what we're doing because that would be unfair on exclusion. But we were recording a few days ago, and we get onto a server. I'll say got onto an aftermath server, got our shed down, which is the start of the aftermath, and then there's a big raid going on next to us. So we went, and exclusion killed a guy. This guy had an X50 kitted. I went up to the base, start clearing this raided base. Next minute, I come back out because I thought I heard noises, so I was going to reposition. In a bush next to the base, I found 4 C4, and two Barretts, and a PKM, which is a Mosin fully automatic. Right, ran back to our little shed. The next day, we got raided, and it's done. That's everything done. You know what I mean? We got raided while we were online, we were doing a key room. We got back to the base, and it was gone. So that's
you don't
the
have to
content
be
done.
streaming for people to know that you're there. All they have to do is hear somebody's voice, and then everybody in the safe zones and everybody.
Not even that. If we just get raided by someone because they found a shed that looks quite loaded, then it's done. It's not like other DayZ players that can then just rebuild and start again, because we have a time frame. I'm busy. I'm planning to play with Josh in a week or two, so I only have this set amount of time before I've already made promises with Josh or Zodek. So when it comes to that, I don't know. I can't carry on. So getting the content's probably one of the hardest things. I tried to recently get content on Shroud server, is it the Grey Man? And oh my God, I stayed up for 2 nights till about 4 a.m. playing that server, just trying to get a video, and there's nothing. I couldn't do it. Solo was the hardest thing.
That's why I've completely switched to trolling style content, bro, because it's so much easier for me to get, and I'm not stressing myself out so much content farming and chasing those interactions and those gunfights I need to make a good video, because I can just convince a guy to jump off a roof and it'll get 100,000 views. It's insane. To me, that's not good enough. I still need to be on DayZ Underground or whatever, making these hour-long DayZ movies. It's just you put so much stress on yourself when you do that. The consumers, the people who just watch the stuff and don't go out and make it, don't understand how much goes into it. I really think they would appreciate it a lot more. But I can definitely empathize, bro.
For example, the excursion will take maybe 3 weeks to edit a video. That's how much we have 70 hours worth of footage, 80 hours worth of footage, and we had to go through that and then trim it down. In this recent video, it took me about a week and a half, and I had to trim it down. And obviously, as I've just been monetized literally last week, I had to then now I've got to think about swearing. So then I
congrats on that as well, mate. It's a genuine milestone to earn. That you can get the views, but getting people to actually hit the subscribe button is an achievement. It's not like just a follow on Twitch. It's genuinely more. People, there's a whole different mindset with YouTube about someone subscribing to your channel. So congratulations on that, mate. The views
I appreciate that, man.
Easier,
I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, be proud.
Hey,
mate.
Tommy, I have an idea.
Have you had your first paycheck yet?
No, because I this is quite annoying. My last video did really well. Got 11k views on it. And I got monetized from that video, so I didn't get paid from that video. I got monetized from that video, so I missed the payment out on that. But as of right now, my account is sitting at about, because I don't mind, about £60, and I can't withdraw that until the end of the month. So I will withdraw that at the end of the month. I've just been lucky. Because like I said before, I get about 2,000 views every day on that base location video. It's just still gets views, so that still pays. But like I never went in. Well, I'm not going to say I did go into this knowing there's money in it. If I think people that say I go into content creating for the pure reason of, I never knew there was money in it. I like it, I enjoy it, but I also know there is a reward. I'm not stupid. Yeah. Like,
just remember too that it always pays out a month late. If that makes sense. So if it says you're going to get 700, you're not going to get that this month. That used to fuck me up, dude.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So. But I think obviously I knew there was money in it. It's not what drove me to do it, but I would be sat here lying saying if
I mean, there's got to be a return on investment. Otherwise, it's just not fucking
100%.
worth the
I ain't,
effort,
sit,
bro.
I ain't sitting in my bedroom editing for
Yeah,
6 hours a day
yeah,
to get someone to comment saying this was a shit video. I
yeah,
ain't doing that. Sorry, that's
yeah.
not what I'm getting in return.
I
No,
was, I
from
was,
no
I
thanks.
sat down last weekend to watch a movie, and I was like stressing. Do I have time to watch this? I got to edit a video, and I was like,
Yeah.
bro, fuck it, dude. Just relax and enjoy yourself. The people don't understand it, bro. Honestly. But I was gonna say, I'm gonna get on Chat GPT and write an AI program that detects slurs and then automatically censors it with a beep or by cutting the
Mm.
audio. Then we could just plug that right into whatever we use to edit, and we wouldn't have to go through there scrubbing and knock out all the curse words, right?
We get so fucking hit by a demonetization on this channel, mate, because we
I do
pretty much
too.
just we speak uncensored, and it is such a frustration. I've got to do a quick thank you. Alex Germany super chatted $9.99. Trucker Games become a member, and the real one. If you did add an extra zero by accident, mate, hit me up.
Oh no, he
I'll sort
didn't.
you out.
Trust me. That's my boy right there. He's a very rich contract painter. He just likes to pretend he's
Holy
fit.
mackerel. That's a lot of money.
Oh,
Hell hydration,
that's
baby.
Australian dollars,
Holy
guys. So
mackerel, baby.
don't get too excited. That's not like £100. If it was
It's still
100,
like $85. Yeah.
Boydie's eating at Red Lobster tonight, you know. Boydie's going out. He's having a night in the town. He's telling his missus to stay at home. He's off.
Let's see. What does the message say? Boydie, for the love of God, stop having 20-minute intros with music. Oh yeah, it's good.
The Holy Tabernacle is the best community on YouTube. Respect all around, fellas.
Hell
Hail hydration.
Congrats, though, Boydie. That's a nice little.
That is,
thank
yeah.
you there.
And look, pretty much everything we make here goes back into the community in one way, shape, or form. Whether I've got a few subscriptions and things like that, but the big thing is the end of the year show where we do a lot of giveaways. So little things like this. I've already got an idea. I'm going to say it. Fuck it. I'm just going to say it. I'm looking at getting 4 of the Brian Bears in game made custom. And they will be the probably the big prizes for the end of year show. I'm trying to find someone who can make really good ones, so I can get 4 made. The 4 colors I think is white, dark brown, light brown, and pink. And I would even like it if they can work out some sort of way that there's actually a little pouch in it that you could stash an item in. Because
Probably in the butt.
I was
That's
thinking
how teddy bears are, right?
look, that would be the obvious one, but that's kind of icky at the same time. Not that there's anything wrong if you're into that, but I don't like the idea of sticking something into a teddy bear's butt. I was thinking maybe something behind the heart, that the heart is attached by Velcro, and you can pull the Brian heart off, and there's a little pouch there where you could put a lighter or just something small in there. You're probably not going to be able to fit a gun magazine in there. But that's what I'm looking at the moment.
I mean, that's a really good idea, to be honest with you. I don't really like.
We just
I'm not
like
into
doing
that, but that's quite a good idea.
We just like doing
Merch is
silly things
big,
like
bro.
that.
Dude, I make a lot of money off my merch, Tommy. You should look into it now that you're monetized, bro. Especially with your channel growing, I make good money off merch.
Especially with you could tie it into your YouTube channel. Like, because I was a bit late this morning, but I could have had the podcast mugs up and that. Here they are, DayZ Podcast mugs. But great way to start your morning. I definitely fucking need them in the morning.
I love DayZ and mugs in this community. I love the whole mug debate we had recently. That was
the $30 mug.
That was
hilarious.
Incredible.
I
still don't understand to this day, because I think Matt C is an insane individual. I don't know what is going on in his head, but let him do what he wants to do.
We don't really talk about him much here, mate. He's just.
I won't do, but I just don't get it. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. It's working because you just brought him up.
Yep.
He's more than welcome to. He's more than welcome to. He's got down into subs.
It's outrage. It's outrage media. And we touch on it at times, but we try to avoid it as much as possible.
It just doesn't make sense to me. None of it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I can't fathom it. You know what I mean? So I just find it funny. And I remember when I was reading it, and I think I sent it to the lads. I was just like, "What is going on?" That's the last I'll say. But what is going on? Why is the world in uproar about a fucking cup?
Yeah, man, that's the community, bro. You don't really see that with like Rust and shit though. Because I hang out, I mean, I'm frequent like some Rust Discord.
Oh, look, no, you can. Like, there's the classic Stimpy. Oh, you're one of those Rust players. There's drama.
I'm talking about like the amount of incessant infighting that you see. Like, I never saw that with Ark, Atlas, Conan, Exiles.
No, you're right.
Russ,
Just
it's
stupid shit people argue about, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what are you on about? Like, what has made you wake up this morning? So I'm eating right now and go, you know what? I'm fucking fuming. I'm gonna tweet the running man and say you cup shit. That's what I'm gonna do this morning. And you're like, what?
The devs drank out of your cup. Fuck you, bro. Like,
Yeah, how that work? You know what I mean? What the fuck? They didn't drink out of mine. The bastards. Like, what?
I'm sorry, but I do enjoy a good shit post or a troll. And when old mate brought that mug out on the stream, I was just fucking, you legend. You legend.
Is that what it's from? I don't even know what it's from.
No,
is that because the dev drank it on the stream?
It's part of the shit fight between Matzy and the Running Man. He come up with some. He has these conspiracy theories where he gets shit in his fucking head, and he convinces himself that he's literally that guy in the meme with the fucking pointing at the fucking things, and it all ties in, and MK Ultra and the fucking Illuminati and all the rest of it. And he come up with some weird theory about how the Running Man was ripping people off with his mugs. And like Ray says, any mug off Teespring or shit like that, it's pretty much around $30 or so. And at the end of the day, I don't care what price someone puts on something. If someone wants to buy it, they'll fucking buy it. I generally
let them buy it. Who gives a shit? It's a mug.
But I love the fact that, like, I remember how hyped we were back when this podcast first started. When Scotty and oh God, please remind me his name. We had him on the show. The other community manager at the time before Scotty, or at the same time as Scotty. That devilishly handsome guy from Europe. But when they started trolling people on the DayZ Twitter account, I loved it. I fucking loved it. When the old mate fucking said something about their game and they clapped back at him and went, you could always stream on Mixer. Oh, wait. And Brim and I, we were absolutely pissing ourselves laughing because it was fantastic to see them have a bit of fun. Because for years there, like Archie said earlier, DayZ was languishing with very, very low player numbers, and it was almost like that poor old dog at the front door that was just laying there. And as everyone walked past, they would kick the fucking dog, and then all of a sudden, the dog got up and it bit the fuck out of someone, and it was like, oh my God, the dog fucking clapped back. You go, dog, and I fucking loved it. I don't mind a good bit of a troll or a shit post or something like that. But just take it in, It was. I miss Brim too, Mackay. I really do miss Brim, and I hope he's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was fantastic to see, and I don't mind a bit of a shit post troll, but as long as it's just for shits and giggles, the Running Man created that mug, and I thought I took it as it was shits and giggles. Old mate's going to make fun of me. Fuck it. I'm going to release a mug that's called the 30-pound mug. I thought that was honestly, comedy gold.
I think I'm going to lose everybody with this, but I just think of the content. I think we should have him on one time. Just have him on. Because if everybody thinks he's so psychotic and out of his mind, then give him a platform to expose it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he fucking cracks me up, dude. It's just, and I know he's trolling, right?
I just sit there and try and work out what's going on because it's just, I can't understand it. Like
it's
I can't
kind
fathom
of convoluted and detached.
And the DayZ that he plays makes no sense to me. Like he looks like he's playing the DayZ version that's on Wish. I don't understand how his DayZ matches his insanity. Makes no sense to me because the game he plays isn't the DayZ that I know. I don't. It's not the dead game. Bossman's playing servers with 4 people on it, and he's set in some desert land. I don't know if he's still playing Arma mod. Maybe he's fucking stuck in 2010. I don't know. Let him do what he wants to do. But
look, people in chat are agreeing with you, Archie. Some are, and I'm going to address it right now. No, it's not going to happen, and the reason why is
I already knew that was coming.
He is so fucking unhinged that he is literally. I have a meme that I use. I call it on Twitter. I call it my pigeon award, and. The pigeon award is given to people who there's a saying about arguing with an idiot is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how well you play, he's going to strut around the board and shit all over the place and act like he won anyway, because he has no fucking clue.
But that's just his perspective, though, right? I mean, then I don't know. Maybe maybe I see your point. Don't platform someone who's toxic, right? But at the same time, we've had some pretty questionable people on before. I'm fucking on the podcast. I'm a co-host, dude. You know, I don't know. Maybe I it kind of comes off as a bit unfair. And I know Foxy Pote is the voice of reason. Trust me, Foxy, and I always appreciate your input. But I mean, the guy is it's whatever he's doing is definitely working. If because everyone you talk to is mentioned in his name. I heard somebody in game the other day bring him up. You know, so I don't know.
That's the quote there, the correct quote. Arguing with idiots is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how good you are, the bird is going to shit on the board and strut around like it won anyway. And that's what I see. Yeah, we talked about it the other day when he went on his conspiracy theory about Dave. And, oh, yeah, I know he's going to use this footage for a new fucking episode of his shit post podcast or whatever. Hi, his channel, by the way. But then again, yeah, we are a bit too long in the tooth for his format. But, yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to. I tried to reason with the guy. I am very understanding. I had Josh on back when he had his scandal. I had Milo on. I am open to talking to people who are controversial, but then there are people who are just that far gone that I'd have more luck talking to a brick. But we're not going to go into it. We're not going to go into it. Enjoy doing whatever you're going to do with this footage, and you know.
What does he watch?
Oh, he watches anything and everything. He watches Happy Bomb streams.
He's got his hand on the pulse, man. That's
it's literally like you can just imagine him sitting in this fucking command center with a fucking 1,000 monitors, and he's got algorithms running for every time his name is mentioned.
At some point, you have to kind of respect the amount of effort he puts in there.
I do.
I think people are mad at him, and he's playing a character for the most part.
I think he's mint. I find him funny again. Like I just think he's just unhinged, and I just love it. Like, and I think the big thing is he doesn't care, and I do like that about people. Like he is unhinged, but
that's what I'm saying. There's something about that. But granted, like calling people out, name dropping and stuff, a lot of people do that, you know, to kind of clout chase and make a name for themselves. And they just don't do it in such a callous and scathing way.
I wouldn't even. I think can you call it clout chasing? Bossman gets like, could I even? I ain't going to say that. Like,
but my issue goes a bit further, and I'll say this on the record again: is up until this incident, I had a reasonable relationship with the guy, so I'd actually had him on my own personal channel, my boy 73, when I was streaming one day, and I was sitting in Discord like I usually do when I stream on that channel, so anyone can join me and just chat. And he jumped in, and I was like, "Oh, good to see you, mate. You know, I've wanted to actually chat with you." And we chatted for a while, and we, you know, pretty much, I said to him, I agree with you on some of the points you raised about some people. I don't agree with you on the majority of them, but at the same time, things are pretty cool. Then we had a guest on, and that guest was Ariana. And he's got an issue with Ariana that is fucking borderline psychotic, in my opinion. But he took footage from my podcast, and he didn't even have the courtesy to reach out to me as someone who had just the smallest iota of respect for me as a person, and say, "Boydie, I'm just going to let you know I'm going to use some footage from your show, and it's going to be in a relatively negative light." I didn't like the way he used the footage, but at the end of the day, he's allowed to use that footage under fair use. And I would have said to him, "Thank you for letting me know. But I'd rather you didn't. But at the end of the day, you know, you can do it with what you want as long as it's fair use." That is the issue I had, that he showed absolutely no respect, and that is why I've cut all ties with the guy. He talks about, you know, being the real man, and OG, and, you know, all these morals and that he lives by. No, he's a fucking liar. He has no fucking respect for other people, unless it's going to benefit him in some way, shape, or form. And that is why I want nothing to do with him. Not so much over individual actions. I firmly believe, you know, there's nothing wrong with offending people, because offense is taken, not given in general, unless you're attacking someone individually. He attacks people individually. I don't really like that per se. There's nothing wrong with critiquing people, but he says some really mean, nasty fucking shit about some people.
Yeah, he does. He does, and like I shouldn't say I've laughed at some of the stuff he said because it's just so outlandish. And I imagine you there, actually, you look like you may have laughed at some of the stuff he said, and I have as well.
I laugh at fucked up shit. I laugh at fucked up. But Archie and I, if anyone ever hacked our fucking Discords and they saw some of the shit we send each other, like I said, one of the reasons I love Archie is he laughs at fucked up shit. We have bad. Do we believe that stuff? Yeah, it's like there's a guy in Australia at the moment. Isaac Butterfield. He's being hauled before the Queensland Human Rights Council over jokes he said that were racist jokes, but he said them at a comedy festival in front of people, and he's now being hauled before a government fucking council to basically talk about you hurt someone's feelings. They were bad jokes, and the whole shtick was these jokes are so bad. And I'm going to say it, and even the audience was like, oh. And, there were people laughing, but that's me personally. I have a very fucked up, dark sense of humor. The darker, the better for me. But do I believe that? Fuck no. I'm not racist in any way, shape, or fucking form. I'm not sexist in any way, shape, or form. I laugh at fucking veterans jokes. Like, I think it was Andrew Schultz did one where he talked about veterans and, about, respect veterans. That's great, But do we have to respect them all the same? I mean, like, do we have to respect the guy on the aircraft carrier who just goes that way for the planes? The war's Bill over Burr. There, guys.
I agree.
Bill Burry, Bill Burr. Yeah. And
all heroes.
And he said, I did that joke at a VA, and they all pissed themselves laughing. And then he did that joke at a comedy club, and someone stood up and said, "That's offensive. You shouldn't be talking about veterans like that." I'm sorry, it's a fucking joke. It's a joke. Get over it. But Matt Z is not just a comedian. He is a mean, vindictive person, and he's not a nice person. So
I mean, he's a troll. Yeah, he's a troll.
There's funny trolls. There's funny trolls. He's something else. He's something else.
I think he's just insane. He's just nuts. And like I said, we'll move on. But he is just nuts. That's the best way to put it.
I'm glad you brought it up, dude. To be honest, because like we DM'd I DM'd him about the whole thing with him talking about Boydie and stuff, and he told me that Boydie was upset about the footage used and stuff, and I defended Boydie as I do because Boydie always defends me, right? But I think if we make if you make statements about somebody calling them a liar and stuff, wouldn't it be better to just let them come on the platform, and if they're a fool, to make a fool out of themselves?
Yeah, 100%.
I think he's not obviously show podcast everywhere you want on it, but I think this is going to sound awful now, and I'm going to sound like such a prestige little fucker, but I'm not trying to. He's not that big of a deal in my opinion. Like he isn't that much that Boydie needs to get him on and settle this beef, because at the end of the day, Boydie's going to go to bed tonight and not think of him once.
Yeah.
He might think of Boydie all night when he sleeps. But
I do not need. This is the best thing that's happened to him.
I've called him out. Most people that have called him out, he's not gonna. They're not. He's like they don't. You know what I mean? No one cares. Like at the end of the day, it ain't a big statement from the UK. It ain't that deep, bro. It's not that deep.
And this is why I don't want to get him on, because sadly we are talking about him, and like Archie said, what he does works. And Darkwings, like Tate's saying in chat, he's gonna love this episode, but he's a nothing burger. He is literally a nothing burger. He's got his small group of people around him who love that over-the-top fucking persona that he plays or is. I don't know.
That's throwing gas on the fire, though, bro. This is literally like taking shots from behind bulletproof glass, though, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
He can say whatever he wants about us. He can do whatever he wants. I don't fucking care. It's just words. It's just you and your little echo chamber of fucking weirdos.
At least he goes at the person directly, though. That I can respect. And yeah, sure, he's mean and says scathing things,
100%.
But the amount of time that I've never heard from another content creator that I pissed them off or I said something that offended them. I always hear it through Boydie or another content creator who sends me screenshots. No one ever comes directly. No one ever comes to me directly and says anything. I don't know why. Boydie says it's because I'm intimidating. What can I do to you over the internet besides make you look stupid? I think it's because their feelings are invalid and they want to try to validate them through someone close to me, which is, psychologically weak. But anyway, I have to kind of respect that he goes for the person.
No, not kind of. I do respect that. Yeah. But I 100% respect that. I wish more people would be more specific about what they're fucking going on about. Yeah, I know there's certain things like you've got to be careful what you say about other Twitch streamers because Twitch have got some fucking thing in there about causing drama and all the rest of it. And
yeah, so they just use their simps to do it. You know?
yeah.
Hang on, Maddie, put me at the beginning. Hang on, ready? Oh my days.
That's funny. That's funny.
Anyway, moving on.
It's because you pin their comments, dude. Salty saying, but yeah, no, it's a nothing burger. It's funny, and he gets under the skin of a lot of people, but just ignore him. That's yeah. I hate the fact that we ended up on this topic, but we did.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah. I know we're trying to stay away from drama, and y'all know how Boydie is.
Oh, I don't mind, mate. Like at the end of the day, show podcast. But if anyone wants to message me, I probably won't even reply to you. Like,
yeah,
gonna be honest.
It's been great having you on so far, Tommy.
It has been.
Appreciate it.
Servers, anything taking your fancy?
This I'm gonna be completely honest. There is like nothing new coming and going on with DayZ on my radar. Server
Have you played DayZ Down Under yet? Sorry, Tommy, it's a meme on this channel. I have to mention DayZ Down Under. Oh shit, I haven't mentioned. Did you know I served in Somalia?
Yeah, but the chat did like 4 times.
Yeah, they
Somalia. Is that Africa?
Don't get him started. Don't get him started. Yeah, they're all saying.
What war was in Somalia, or what was needed to happen in Somalia?
We're not going. We're not going into it. We're not. It's a meme.
When I was in Somalia, I took my PC with me, and I got a Medal of Honor. Anyway, yeah. So I tried a new map, Door County. Gotta say, and I will say this with the utmost respect to the guy who made it, a lot goes into map making. I'm doing one myself right now. It's a swamp-based map. I don't want to say too much. I had a 4-hour master class.
Basically, your backyard.
Basically, yeah. I live in Florida.
What he does when he looks out his window, he's just been taking notes.
Yeah. So, but I've got some. I'm under the tutelage of one of my very good friends who's very well versed in map making, but. It's kind of, and I know it's just the beginning, but all the buildings are everything's the same. It literally just looks like another Russian map. But then I went on it and I was going to play it for the stream, and there's 2 servers, PvP and PvE, and I'll let you guess which one was the most populated with 30-something people.
PvE.
Yeah. So I just was like, okay, I can't do it. So, but I will say I have high hopes for the project. I think the environment looks great, and check it out, give them some feedback, because that's what the creators need at the end of the day. But it's kind of been a lull period with DayZ at the moment, especially with Gay Man or whatever going under.
Well, I will get started on servers. That's why I'm on here. I don't know why I just said that then. Like I'm going to sit in silence.
We'd love to hear your opinion on them.
2 things. Before I say the next thing, have any of you made a map?
No.
I'm doing it right now.
Right, because I may be talking about your map here. But there's a bit of drama recently, and I'm totally on a fella called Mike Doherty's side.
Yep. Oh, I know the drama you're talking about, the Japan map.
Listen, yeah, he's right. People are
the
so
most horrendous thing I've ever seen in my life. It was 4 buildings on a flat surface.
Yeah, dude.
And Mike Doherty is the best map designer I know, may I say. He's done Karma Crew, works for Karma Crew. He's incredible at it. He's done loads of stuff that I know.
And he's a good guy, like all around. People just get
great guy.
Yeah, you can't be honest on the fucking internet.
You can't have an opinion. You can't have an opinion without someone taking offense to it.
It was horrendous. I'm not being funny. If you openly put that map out and think that's people are going to go, wow, what an incredible map. Well, maybe it is an incredible map, but from the screenshot I saw, it was 4 buildings in a straight line.
Have you seen the airfield?
I refuse to play it. I'm not going to play it. And if someone can't critique that from that screenshot, I don't know what's going on. But
this is not the DayZ podcast saying it's bad. This is Archie saying you guys are way too starved for something new because the bar is not low. It's on the fucking floor, dude. And again, granted, it takes a fuck ton of work to get the mask right and get everything perfect and get everything looking good. But it's like they go through all the hard work, all the difficult steps to get the map into Terrain Builder, and then they just drop, like they're so lackluster when they start putting buildings and roads and shit together. You know, if that makes sense. Now, I do like that they reskinned a lot of the assets so that it's like atmospherically Japanese. But we're not talking about the I'm just talking about the outrage people had against Mike for coming out with his opinion about the map as
look.
a map
You could say he was a bit blunt, but at the same time, is that really that bad of a thing?
But I think it deserves bluntness. I'm not being funny. If your standard is that low, if that's the screenshot you're going to release for your new and upcoming map, it deserves bluntness. And especially from someone like Mike, what you should be doing, and I sound like I'm getting angry, I'm not, but what you should be doing is you should be messaging Mike, asking how can he improve it. When Mike has got such a skill set, which I genuinely like, I've spoke to Mike a handful of times. I know him through JLK and his his channel, and through Karma Crew. If you have someone like that offering you, it's like if Josh was to message me that last video wasn't very good. I wouldn't message him. Oh, you bastard! How dare you say that about my channel?
I can't believe that you had a public opinion on this public social media site.
What did you enjoy about it? What did you enjoy? And if you releasing that screenshot and that's the hardest you've tried, well then, sorry, I'm going to be blunt with you. With the maps that are out there already, Essican and Mouse, Cherno, Livonia, that's not going to do well. Okay,
the competition
that's not going to do well.
He deleted that tweet.
He did, yeah.
There was a. I was talking to her in.
But there's plenty of discords with screenshots of people losing their fucking mind, saying that he's bullying smaller creators and shit. And to be honest, he's given constructive feedback. All he said was, "This is the new Japan map we're all excited about," and that's what I think the comment. I think the comment was,
"Is this what we're calling a map these days?" It was mainly focused on the fact that it kind of devolved a bit from there. That it was more talking about we've got to stop releasing maps too early in the alpha stage of them because it does damage to them.
Well, again, just putting two buildings on a flat surface and say I'm starting a new map, and then everyone's
send me donations.
It's like when people make a new server and then they're like, "Hi guys, made a new server, everybody come play it." Well, I don't really want to, mate. It's the pop's dead and it's the mods aren't my cup of tea. What do you mean you don't like the server? It's a new server. You've got to try it out. Well, I don't want to. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's like new maps. You've got to. There's a reason servers like Rearmed and Aftermath are leading the forefront because they're incredible. When you release your server that has one mod on it and it's the code lock mod and you've got no backing behind it, your loading screen's the vanilla loading screen and the code is so off that one piece of food spawns in every 6 months. There's no point in playing it. I'm not going to pretend and send him a nice tweet going, "Hey buddy, played your new map." It's okay. When it's not, it's shit.
Yeah, it's the same with like streams. I would go for it's the Emperor's New Clothes. That's the story, right? But there was one time I was streaming, and for a 4-hour stream, no one told me my mic was fucked up and I sounded like RoboCop. So that entire stream, I got all this good content I could have used, but no one wanted to be rude and say, "Hey, your mic sounds like shit," And that's just the thing. I think maybe because I was in the service and Boydie was in the service, and you come from British high school and football culture, you can be blunt. You don't have to sugarcoat shit. People just get so offended. It's like they're looking for something to be outraged about. I don't think what he did was wrong. I think the map's in the alpha stage, so I'm not going to pass judgment on it. I'm going to say, hey, it doesn't look. Granted, I was super impressed with the reskins, right? But as far as like the airfield and the pictures that he showed, it doesn't paint a very a very good picture to describe the amount of hype that Japan map was getting.
No,
because you can just grab something off QGIS. And then work it up and put it in Terrain Builder. And then, when you get that far, that's when you have to build the charm as far as like the buildings and the roads and stuff and make it balanced. Like Bitterroot is. I don't know if you played Bitterroot. That's one of the most
seen it actually.
Yeah. It's so well balanced with the way everything's placed out. And there's not too much loot in one spot. The military bases are easily accessible, but they're in like a hollow. So there's trees up on hills all the way around them where you feel like you're in a bowl and you're going to get shot at any second. That is one of the best, probably the best, in my opinion, community-made map there is. That's your competition as a map maker. So when people are getting pissy because you have 2 points of interest that are just, 12 assets repeated over and over and over, I mean, you kind of are wrong to get pissed off, I think, man.
My second point was, and I am so opinionated, I know, and I love it.
What's wrong with that?
But my second point is, at the moment, I think the DayZ and Zodek will agree with me on this. He's actually texting me right now. We're just talking. The big. Oh God, there's no service to play. There is So the problem with DayZ right now is you've got Rearmed, incredible server in my opinion. People hate on it because it's not DayZ. No, it ain't DayZ. You're right, it's not DayZ. but it's an incredible server for what it is. And you've got Aftermath. They're the two leading modded servers. Yeah, you have the Perceptions, you have the, Armexes, which are great servers. Certain servers that aren't so great. And you got the 28 Days Later, in my opinion, not a very good server, but that's just my opinion. But then there's nothing that is that lightly vanilla anymore. There's nothing.
Yeah, we had one.
Nothing.
We had one for a while, but the problem is that there's definitely a huge community for vanilla and lightly modded, just like there is for the rearm stuff, right? But there's so many servers that are doing it, and they want to be
it's spreading it out everywhere.
Yeah,
You're so right there,
and that's what I keep telling everybody is like, hey, we had default DayZ on Chernarus. It was vanilla community. We got rid of the hackers and the shitlords. You could build bases, do whatever you wanted. But then there was 700 other ones with 6 people playing in them. And the people didn't want to merge servers because they wanted to be the admin. They wanted to be in charge of their server, right?
That is the biggest problem ever.
Yeah.
And it's such a, like, another thing for content creators, and I'm not calling myself a content creator because I'm not, but another big thing is me, Zodec, Exclusion, Joker, we sit there for hours and scroll through the server list just trying to find something new, something different, and there's just nothing. There's either you've got, your rearms, your Aftermath, as I keep saying, and again, perfect servers. Aftermath is a great server, probably in my opinion the best server ever to be released on DayZ. We bought the newest stuff, and it is the most balanced modded server out there.
Which
but then there's Aftermath. It's one that Exclusion advertised it. He made a video on it, and I enjoy it. But then there is nothing in between. There's no core anymore. The Karma Crew's good. I agree, Karma Crew's good, but it's not what people are looking for. There's no like I say core anymore. Shroud server would have been perfect if there was base building. I can't make a video on not base building server. Imagine Shroud server with base building with a cool dynamic traders. How amazing that would be with the clans you could get on there, the stories you could get on there, like the faction wars and stuff like that. That's what I live for in DayZ. I live for faction wars. I live for these big group wars, where like one group will own a town, the other group will send people to scout missions and stuff. But there is none of that anymore.
I started out. My first taste of DayZ community was DayZ Underground. It was all factions. They controlled everything. You had to get down with a faction or start your own. That was an entirely different dynamic of DayZ. That was people don't even understand that side of DayZ. And then they introduced base building, and all these factions would take over. Like 506 took over Zelenogorsk. And I mean, they walled it off, dude. You couldn't get in there. They were patrolling. Like, it sounds corny, but it was insane. It was so
incredible.
Like,
make story.
Yeah,
you hate them. You hate them so much with such a
you remember
Yeah.
shit like that. Like, I watched a video just the other day of I've never played the game, World of Warcraft. But a guy had a video talking about the 5 biggest things that happened in the game, not like dev things or anything like that. And one of them was a guy who'd locked down an entire important town by himself with no one else. He was just that high of a level and that good of a player and it was some important town that you needed to get to be able to catch a boat to go to another island. And he locked it down so no one could get in there. He did it that well that people even wrote guides on how to avoid him, how to beat him, how to get around him. He was doing it that well. Then another one was they did some event with WoW Classic, with some raid boss that if you defeated it, a few limited players would get some Scarab edition, something or other, but you had to do all these milestones to get it. And one server was, it had a clan that was just a bunch of douches, and they had stockpiled all the gear, and they contributed 98% of all the items needed to start the mission. But they decided that no one else could do the mission, and they were gatekeeping it. So the rest of the server teamed up against them and fucked them over. And in the end, no one got the Scarab. But for them, that was a victory. And people are talking about this event years afterwards. Like there's even some of you have probably heard of the WoW funeral, where a player died in real life, and she was very well liked apparently by the community.
They had a vigil for her.
And they had a vigil for her, and they said, we're going to record this and send it through to the family. Please don't mess this up. And a bunch of fucking troll bastards decided, no, we're going to fuck with it. And they went there and they created this massacre. And there was a great comment on it that said, ironically, because of their actions, that person is now immortalized.
their name will be heard by people for dozens of years to come. When someone who is remembering the old days of WoW, and this eventually a video pops up in their feed of the great WoW funeral massacre, and they'll hear this person's name who otherwise would have just fallen into anonymity by the wayside, not known by hardly anyone. But now, because of an action by a faction, and this is the point is factions are fun. They can be toxic as fuck, but they're fun at the same time.
But they create an entirely new dynamic, dude. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was the whole thing with Doug is like we kept raiding everybody, right? And granted, back then I was in the military, I could only play at night and everybody was offline. I felt like shit being an offline raider, but I couldn't get on during the day. And a lot of times we would get PvP and it would be great. But then the whole server turned against us. They had to hunt us down. You know, our base was way out west in the cabin by Troit's military or Tricresta. And it was awesome, dude. That's the most fun I've ever had. And I have 8,000 hours in this game. Was factions and bases.
The problem, Tommy, is though when people take it personally. They can't differentiate between. They can't log off and go, "Wow, that was fun." They can't, GG. You guys finally won. That comes back to the rule of that my mate Spud from DayZ Down Under, great service, told me. Sometimes an L is actually a W. You don't have to win every encounter. And I've seen that with the videos that you and Josh and all the rest of them do. Where you lose your server, it gets raided, or you die in the big raid, but that can still be entertaining.
I'll tell you a little secret. We sometimes if I am talking over, like I said, I apologize. A bit of a delay, so you start talking and I just did it then again.
It's all right, mate. It's a bit of a meme here.
Morty interrupts everybody, bro.
No, man, I'm bad for it. But sometimes content creators, again, us we sort of want bad things to happen because we commit. In this recent video, me and Joe K did it was the water-based one. And we got an enemy. You'll see it in my recent video. We got an enemy who lived in a roof camping tower. And as much as annoying, we'd lost everything from that day. As soon as me and Josh logged off for the night, we went, well, there's our enemy that we're going to raid. Do you know how much great content that brings us?
Create the context,
Going back to factions, like I mentioned this before, JLK's two favorite videos are War and Retribution, and there's one enemy in both of them videos, and they're called Justice League, and they're still remembered to this day. I think they're on a certain server now. I don't know what server it is, but
I saw them on Struggle Bus once.
They're on the Northmen right now. They're on the Northmen, which is another great server, man. They're on that right now, and they're still hated because of that, JLK video. But that's what factions can bring to DayZ. They can bring enemies, and there is nothing better. And I was talking to Zodek about this the other day. Being the most hated before we met Zodek. Zodek used to run, as silly as it sounds, Aftermath Derail. He used to be the most known name. He's so known on Aftermath servers, Zodek. His voice is known everywhere. It's because he just used to run it. He used to camp Temple and, not let people in it. And that is as toxic as that may be. I don't know if you can call it toxic. It's the funniest thing to be known on a server and hated. The power that gives
infamous,
you. That infamous power that, like, you're not going to get that in real life because you ain't running your local town. We're not in the mafia area anymore. You know what I mean? We're not like back in 1960 when there was one mafia group that ran a town. To do it in a video game,
you can be on a game. Yeah, you can.
Well, to be that in the video game and like be respected or be feared, your name be feared.
It's nice, bro.
Oh, it's just a great feeling.
Just to be like, oh, I don't want to go. Let's go around Berezino. That's where so and so hangs.
Yeah, exactly.
The one I always bring up is Dam and Gorka on the DayZ Underground server. Every time you went through Gorka, you were like, "Oh fuck, are they going to be there?"
Guys from Cringe, the guy who talked like the fucking evil villain on Inspector Gadget. He used to drive me nuts, bro. I used to completely avoid that town just because I didn't want to interact with that guy. I don't remember.
But it's fun. I'm not really into the role play stuff per se, but. It was fun, Everyone knew the reputation of that town, dark as midnight. You go there, they're gonna fuck you up.
Everything about that faction was mysterious and intriguing. That's one thing I'll say though. I did have a bad experience with DayZ Underground. I do meme on him a lot for it, right? The guy who did that shit to me, that shady shit, is gone. He's not an admin anymore. And that server did create some core memories for a lot of people, including most of your big name streamers who got their start on DayZ,
the Running Man, Mr. Blackout, Jam Jar, all those guys were playing it.
When you give somebody a big open sandbox and you go create an adventure in a post-apocalyptic environment, vanilla style, that's the most perfect way it could go, is the DayZ underground style.
And there's no servers like that anymore. There is not a single server. You know, you might be getting it on the Northman. And
I'll counter that a bit. Now, the guy I'm going to talk about is Stimpy. Pretty much everyone watches Stimpy's videos, but for a while there, he wasn't doing a lot of DayZ content. Now, I know he's back into a bit of a rust phase at the moment, but you probably all noticed that he's doing more DayZ videos now, and his attitude's kind of changed. He's actually been having fun playing DayZ. And do you know why that's happening?
Because it's easy to find people on the mosque.
He's playing day one.
Yeah.
Is that the server he's playing?
Yes, he is. I reached out to him because I did not like seeing a guy with a reach of him showing DayZ in a kind of a negative light. In that DayZ's a fucking hard game to make content for. Arguably one of, if not the hardest game to make content for, because you could be doing a run and then you get sniped, and that's the end of it. It's like, this guy was so awesome. We were going to go to Tizzy. We were going to have fun there. Exactly. And now I've lost it all. So it's a drain to play. Rust is arguably easier. You look at the speed that they whack those bases up with.
Well, it's almost like watching. it's like Fortnite days.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. But it pained me to see one of my favorite YouTubers not enjoying DayZ. So I actually DM'd the guy and I said, I highly recommend, for the style that because he wants interaction. He needs interaction, even if it's just shooting people. But the best Stimpy stuff is a bit like yours, Archie, when he's fucking people over. What do they say about him? Stimpy, he always betrays you.
Always betrays.
The classic. He needs that interaction, and it's hard to find on a lot of DayZ servers. DayZ Underground was a bit of a anomaly in that respect, but most other servers, people will shoot first, and day one can be a bit like that. But for the most part, day one, because of the nature of every man and his fucking dog plays those servers, people are more likely to want to talk first to find out if they've got a big content creator, so that they can leech off of them, or just maybe collab with them, sync with them. So you're more likely to get the chance of an actual decent interaction there. And I suggested that to him, and he actually replied to me and he said, "Thank you. This is what I've been looking for, pretty much." And his content for DayZ now is a lot better. You don't hear him talking so negatively about the game. He still does, because that's kind of his shtick. He likes to shit on stuff. But yeah, it's great.
He's having a good time, and it translates for sure.
It does, and that's the day one service. Love them or hate them, they've provided a great medium for content creators to get some decent, especially streamers. The streamers love it. You can argue that there are people going on there for the reason of just bumping into people, but if that's not that bad of a thing, in my opinion, it's kind of.
Well, the problem with the worst part about being a streamer and playing on those servers is that if you kill another streamer, sometimes, like 25% of the times, it causes drama.
Yeah.
Instantly, their super fans come and try to kill you.
Look at Uncle Ray Ray. He gets that sort of hate all the time because he's just a fucking.
And then, there's one in particular female streamer who always throws shade at me, and I've never even spoken to her. I ran into her on Thursdays or Fridays stream, and then she ran off and switched servers and started talking all this shit about me. I was just like, whatever, it's just, that's one reason a lot of people don't want to play on those. But yeah, no, he's definitely having a better time.
I do enjoy Stimpy's content. I think he's funny. And again, it's that sort of tearing. I enjoy Rust content more because I'm also a big fan of Rust.
I don't even play Rust, but I watch all of his Rust videos.
Same. Never played it once. Been thinking I should give it a try, but I don't think it would appeal to me. It seems a bit too easy on the survival side, which I like.
There's no survival in Rust. You don't need food. We just used to play it a lot. Me, Josh, Lewis, and a guy called Oggy, who used to be in the videos a lot.
Yep.
JOK put out a good Rust video, and I think he only did one. It was
he did. He only did one, and we did film others. We filmed like a big one, but this big thing about JLK is that if something isn't perfect, you want to load it.
Yeah,
that's why
we've had Beans on the podcast, sorry, real one, and she's awesome. We love Beans here. She's a legend.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got the quality control down. You can always expect perfection when it comes.
That's why he's done so good. And I was actually talking to him the other day, and I said to him, why don't you bring something else out? I don't know if it was a second channel or I cannot remember what it was now. I don't know what it was, but it was, and he basically said to me, he was like, because I can't just do something. Everything I do has to be perfect, and that's where I've got to know I was. And that's not a cocky thing to say. That's just how much he tried in his work, and that's why he is the biggest DayZ YouTuber. And it's the same with Exclusion. Exclusion again, he is very perfectionist with his content, but there's only one man that I know that does it the most, and it's Josh.
Southsweet's been killing it as well lately. He's had some insane views on some of his.
He used to be one of my favorite DayZ YouTubers, but he moved over to Twitch. I don't know why. Each their own. But obviously, I don't really watch him anymore because I don't watch Twitch. Like, I don't understand watching Twitch because I have quite a short attention span, and I can't jump onto someone's stream as they're running through a field and then running through another field, and then they see one player run through another field. That's not any shade at any streamers. It's just DayZ that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't personally watch streamers. That's not me having a go at streamers. People enjoy sitting in that community aspect, but I don't enjoy a community aspect.
Yeah, it's hard to watch DayZ when you constantly are playing and creating content for DayZ.
I watch less and less of it now, which is sad.
Yeah, when I was in the submarine service, and I went home on vacation one time, and my grandfather was like, I rented this new movie called Hunter Killer. It's about submarines. And I was like, oh, I don't fucking want to watch that. That's my job. You know what I mean?
Well, my stepmom's a financial advisor and does property and stuff. And she always says when it's a bit of a running joke at like Christmas and stuff, if we get Monopoly out, she don't want to do it because it's a job every other day of the week. She don't want to be playing Monopoly when that's literally her job, So...
Foxy's throwing the shade at JLK in the chat there, and there's nothing wrong with that. He even memes it himself. I don't think JLK would take offense at that at all. And anyone who takes offense,
we always
say
behalf, this.
Yeah,
me and JLK's friends are his biggest no men. Like, which means like we're the first ones to say, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, that was shit, And like with the big people always say that about like KSI as well. Obviously, you both know who KSI is, I imagine. His friend group around KSI, the Sidemen, are his biggest no men. They tell him when something's real. No one sits there and goes, "That's quite a good idea," if we think it's shit. And we mock him for that all the time, and he mocks himself for that as well.
No, man, I've never heard that before. That's a good one. You got to have those around too.
Yes, you've got to have people who, and that's, Foxy has been here, and Foxy has given me, I actually said before I gave him a slap on the dick, Foxy's given me many a slap on the dicks. Spud, who I talk about all the time, who's probably in chat, he quite often watches this time of the day as well. He's given me slaps on the dick. They're the people that I hold nearest and dearest to me. The people who tell me, Boydie, no. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. If you just surround yourself with yes men, you'll end up fucking being a Matt Z. Why did I have to fucking say that?
You brought him up again.
I know.
On the mind. He's on the mind. He's doing what you want, boy. He's controlling you.
Rent-free, bro.
Fun behaviour there, mate. Fun behaviour.
Yeah.
I love him. I love his content.
I like you, Tommy, man. I like you a lot.
You've got a good attitude, mate. You're exactly the sort of person we love to have here, because we want people who don't always agree with us, and who have opinions. Opinions are great. Most of them, they're like assholes. Most of them are full of shit, but occasionally you get one that smells like roses. And I love hearing different opinions and stuff. Guys, we have been going way too long. I think we're coming up on 2.5 hours. We'll start to wrap things up. Time flies, mate. That's one of the things I love about it. I know we're a long format show, but we've had over 20 people sitting in here listening to it. Basically, this is just a streamed Discord chat between mates. Is pretty much what the format of this show is. We'll end up on tangents. We can't say the gamer words. But this is why I like doing this show each and every week. It's just a good old chat. amongst friends and people who we've never met, so we get a bit of fresh blood in here to hear different opinions on stuff. And well, I've loved hearing yours. Like Foxy just said, never heard of you, Tommy, but you like you already, so you probably hopefully gained a few.
Appreciate it.
We'll share your channel again in chat right now.
Do you stream at all, or do you just make content, video content?
Streamed once when I was drunk with Zodek, and we both had to sit there in silence because we were terrified we'd say something that would get us both cancelled. or say like, dox ourselves, or dox JLK or exclusion, or like just because we openly talk so much, I've got to be very careful. So I don't really stream much because I'd end up being like, oh well, JLK lives at this exact address. And then I'll be like, oh, shit, I've said it.
That YouTube transcoding will get you, bro. If you say a word that sounds like the wrong word that you're not supposed to use, I've had streams demonetized for dumb shit and lost.
And my accent's quite strong, so I can say things.
No, mate. No. Your accent is fine. Uncle Ray, I can't fucking understand a thing that guy says.
I can talk like Uncle Ray.
Especially when he gets excited.
Yeah, I can proper go northern because I am from the north, but I don't speak like this.
I thought I was loud, and then I went to an Uncle Ray stream.
Yeah, he's very loud. I only saw him recently because of Sour Sweet. Never heard of him before, and then so I appreciate that. Foxy, that sounded really really staged then, but I was just trying to see your name there, mate. I appreciate that, boss.
We will do our individual spotlights now. I'm going to go first. Because we didn't give you a warning order, Tommy. At the end of the show, we just like to do something that you would like to shout out, anything at all. I want to go back to a Twitter account I've talked about in the past, but this one really resonated because I've been to St. Petersburg and I've seen this building IRL. And it's one of the things I love about DayZ is so many of the buildings that they use in the game are actually real life locations. And I didn't realize it. I saw this building. I stood near this fucking building and it didn't click in my head that this is the tower from fucking DayZ. But how cool is that? Another one of his, he's pretty much his Twitter account is just full of posts about stuff like this. Now he's got this pinned one here, the Tizzy radar stations. Now, everyone thinks they're helicopter landing pads. They're not. They're for these radars.
Dude, those are in the game files. They have been for like 6 years. Like, I don't know why they don't just put those radars up there.
Yeah. There's a municipal building.
You're watching.
I actually missed this one? In-game shotgun ammo was inspired by American ammunition brand Hornady, which uses. I did not know that. Crucial defense, critical defense. So I'll share his Twitter account. If you're a DayZ nerd like I am, he's one of the more interesting ones to follow. I'm saying he. I've never spoken to Rexo. It may be a she. If it is, I apologize. But it's a fascinating Twitter account to follow, folks. Espionage drama series, the Sleepers. He just finds a lot of really cool information about DayZ and shares it where it crosses over to the real world. And then
it's a great hobby, man. It's a great hobby, and there's so many cool people interested in it. DOJ says, "I'm not here." Yeah, put the radars up.
Archie, what do you got?
All right, I want to show you guys one of the greatest content creators I've ever seen in DayZ. Guy gets a lot of hate, but I got to say, you should all go give him a watch. His name is, I'll put it right here in chat.
I know who this is.
Matt Z. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Go give him a look-see. Click that link right there. He's live right now on DayZ. Got to support our DayZ content creators. Maybe Foxy Pote and Buddy will let us have him on one day. That's all I've got, man.
Oh, we're so getting cancelled. Oh, fuck. Tommy, what do you got, mate? What would you like to shout out? Anything at all?
Well, because I love myself, everyone subscribe to me if you don't mind, and subscribe to the DayZ Podcast, of course. And yeah, just go check out the featured channels on my thing, Zodek, Exclusion, and JLK, because a lot of people wouldn't be where they were without. I won't say them three, them two. So
Yeah, and I actually had never heard of Zodek until I went on your channel and saw.
Please watch him because he's levels above me. Levels above me, and I'll openly say that because he puts the effort in.
Follow him, guys, because there's nothing better than watching a new content creator grow and bloom. I know this sounds like a fatherhood story, but like, there's nothing cooler than watching someone from humble beginnings turn into a JLK or an exclusion.
Yep, 100%.
That's about everything. Yeah, for me.
I've seen, and I've been doing content in the DayZ community since about 2015. Been playing the game since 2013, 2014, and I've seen so many people just rise up and become massive. Fubar Bundy, Lax Hawthorne, for people in my backyard, Ben Fruit, and it brings me fucking joy. Having seen these guys go from their tiny little channels to massive. There's a clip of me one day when I was streaming, back when Lax was, fucking tiny, and I said, this guy's going to be huge, and I was bang on the money. He's got a great persona for being a streamer. I love seeing these people. Do I wish I was massive? I'm not going to be, a liar and say no, but it is what it is. This is my forte. I'm not a very interesting person to watch play games, but I think I am kind of interesting to listen to when I've got my own little quirks and nuances. I go off and rants, and I fucking bring up fucking topics over and over and over again, but that's something I do at home. It seems like every other week I turn around to my son and go, have you seen Black Hawk Down? And it's like, yes, Dad, I've seen it about 10 fucking times with you.
Off that film.
Sword and Irishman.
Yeah, fucking love that movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. But
you know what? I will say this before you go. I think I'm weird because I genuinely don't want to become any larger or any more well-known than I am. Yep. I like being in the spot I am because anytime I reach some sort of like higher success, I always get knocked down. It's like they chop down the tree I'm building my treehouse in,
I wish this show was bigger because I think we do a good thing here, Archie. In that, I wanted to shout you out, Tommy,
personally, dude,
because Tommy actually reached out to me and said, hey, I wasn't aware of the show, and a lot of people aren't aware of the DayZ podcast. We it seems like every other week we get someone saying, I've never heard of the show.
Tweet.
But Tommy reached out and said, I'd love to come on. And I was like, okay. Tommy, I'll be honest, I didn't know who you were either, mate. But that didn't bother me. You were someone who reached out and said, I'd like to be a guest on the show. And that's what we want. If you would love to be a guest and you are a small creator, a big creator, reach out to us. We'll fit you in somewhere and get you on the show. We want to hear from people. And that's why we're bringing back the player episodes as well, because we don't just want it to be content creators, because content creators view the game differently to the average players, 99% of them, because they need content. The average player just wants to, like Michael, I think, said earlier, they just want to get home, log on, run around a bit, have a bit of fun. They're probably going to use gamer words and stuff like that you can't do when you stream. Whatever floats their boat to make their life a bit more enjoyable. But we want to hear from anyone and everyone. So that's why we're bringing back the player episodes as well. And if you want to, reach out. We're going to do one a month, or I think it's every 2 months. I'm not sure. But yeah, we want to get people on here talking about DayZ and just introducing us to stuff. You told us about, sorry, what's the guy's name again? Is it Zebra or Zodak? Never heard of Zodak either. So that's another one I'm going to be checking out. And hopefully we can get people finding, it's great that there's these big names that are, so imperative to the game, Running Man, Smoke and so on. But you need diversity. You need to find other channels. So it's great that we're getting people
channel in the chat.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, buddy.
That's all right.
You guys can go give him a sub, and then he's got the Zodak on his attached channels down at the bottom of his homepage there.
Zodak definitely don't need it, but obviously any sub counts because that guy is just killing it at the moment. He's got 12k subscribers and doesn't get any less than 40k views a video. Well, 30k views a video. He's managed.
Put a link to his channel in the chat, mate, so people can check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Oh God, I'm like a teenager, but I don't know how to use YouTube 1 minute.
Yeah, I mean, they can find it at the bottom of his channel too. So it's killing two birds.
Oh, have you got it like as a recommended channel on your channel?
Yeah, that's how.
Oh, I don't even know what I've done there. What's happened? What's happened there then?
BBC. Wait, what? No, I'm kidding. You said the link.
I sent the link, but I can't click on it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a dead link. I got it. Let me repost it here.
Yeah, like I can click on your guys, but mine's saying fuck off.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, it's because you're not a mod.
There we go.
I need to change
No,
that.
but he's killing it already, to be honest with you. Like, not being funny, that guy's been killing it from the start. He's found an algorithm, and yeah.
37
he
views,
puts the work in, though.
Jesus. And
he
quality thumbnails.
Yeah, well, he took like days to find that thumbnail artist. But yeah, he's the big player as well. Like, he loves the game, like adores the game. It's the only game he plays. He has probably about 5,000 hours. No, 6,000 hours on PC.
This is what's annoying about YouTube is I watch JOK, I watch Exclusion. I used to watch Arno back when he made content. This is right up my alley. Why has YouTube not recommended this guy to me? And a lot of people in chat are saying the same thing, that they've never heard of his content. I don't understand the YouTube algorithm. Meanwhile, every time I get on Shorts, I get some guy from Indonesia playing Roblox, and I don't care about that game or that country. So it's like I don't get it, bro. But anyway, there we go. That's why we come to the podcast.
No, he's definitely up there with some of this. He's got a long way to go as well. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's made it, but he's got a long way to go. But he's pretty fucking sorted with his content. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to edit. But it's because of the hours he puts in. He has an unholy workaround.
Yeah, he's got it figured out for sure, bro.
Like 34 hours. The fact he can release a 40-minute video every single week is ludicrous.
I'm telling you, bro, from me to you, if you'll like 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's 10 hours. I mean, you know how long it takes to make a good video, right?
Yeah.
But it helps so much create a workflow. And I just plan with no distractions. You know what I mean? I'll put some synth music on and just focus and go. And that's helped me tremendously.
I have what I like to call the exclusion problem, because he does this a lot. Edit in the last day or something. Lewis does that a lot as well. Like, his last video, he edited it in about 4 days. Because he leaves it to the last minute, and that's my problem as well.
Yeah,
but
I used to procrastinate so bad. That's why I would force myself first thing in the morning. I would get my cup of coffee, drink it while I watch my news updates, go use the bathroom, edit for 2 hours, and I got the rest of the day until my.
I'll have 6 showers before I actually start to edit. I'll be there walking the imaginary dog that I don't own, like just trying to get out.
You got that ADHD like me, bro.
Yeah, well, I have actually got it. I'm diagnosed with it.
I got it too, bro. Bad, but yeah. Thanks for coming on, brother.
No problem. I appreciate the opportunity, and I do recommend people doing it.
Who wants to see BGP Sammy in as a guest on the podcast?
Me. Go support him too as well. I love that cat daddy right there, man. He's cool.
Damn straight. One last thing, folks. I need to get some spotlight interviews going again. I've been a bit lax in that. So don't. Please send me some suggestions of people you think I should do a 1-to-1 interview with, and that. And that can be anything in this genre. That's something I do that's just outside of DayZ, and we talk about other stuff. Speaking of which, I'm definitely going to be checking out this new update to Scum. It looks like it's a pretty fucking decent one, folks. So cooking and all the rest of it in there, which I know that's probably not that exciting to a lot of people, but to me, I love that about it. It's a lot more intuitive than putting a piece of meat on the end of a stick. And
any game with survival mechanics that work is like pornography to me. Dude.
Yes. Yeah, we do need to get Sil on. That guy Sil. Yeah. Yep. But no, Tommy, mate, you've been a pleasure to have on, mate. I love your honesty. I love your openness, and yeah.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it a lot. That's probably why I get myself in trouble a lot. And
get yourself in our Discord, mate. I do honestly think the 87.8 Discord is the best DayZ related Discord out there. And I'm not just blowing my own trumpet there. The conversations that people have in there are the best fucking conversations about the game. People disagree, people agree, people share fucking shit. We make fun of each other. They all make fun of me because they're all cheeky fuckers.
Community.
But it is literally if you want to have an opinion that is a bit out there that you'd get shut down for in nearly every other Discord, ours is the Discord for you. You can say pretty much anything in there, provided it's not fucking, racism, all the rest of that sort of stuff.
Of course not.
But you can discuss anything at all. There's people, they go at it, they disagree. But we encourage that because It's like we do here on the show. It's everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You might not like that opinion, but that's more on you. Just get in there and have some fun. I constantly wake up and I've got 200 plus fucking messages to go through to find out what the fuck they're all arguing about this time, or agreeing with, or just making fun of. I love it. I fucking love that Discord, and we need to get more people in there. So yeah, to get in there, mate, and follow the conversations. There's some absolute fucking crackers. Mike Doherty in particular goes off in there all the time, but I love it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to delete his comments.
Yes, I do remember that. I do remember that raise when you banned me from Archie's chat and couldn't figure out how to unban him for like 6 months. But that was funny. It was funny.
He was new. Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy,
right, gentlemen, I gotta bounce.
Best of luck with the future, mate.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it very much, so. Thank you.
And it was a pleasure having you on.
Appreciate you having me on.
Archie, I will say goodbye to you, mate. And Tommy,
hydration.
Yeah. Say bye-bye, everyone.
There's nothing to fear if you try, if you keep believing, like rain falling soft.